Grapsody with Will, Phil, and Reg, trying to keep it real instead of what you usually get from these talking heads. It's Grapsody, we're here to fill the void. 3 black fans, different perspective, gotta fill your voice. Coming with the podcast, talking majors, indies in between. Yeah, it's all that, and we're down with Fightful, better fallback. Coming for respect, we connect like a ball bat. No need to double check, these are all facts. You're listening to us talk raps. You're listening to us talk raps. Will, Phil, and Reg. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps.
What's going on? You look confused.
I was like, are we live? Because the video didn't play on my end. Sometimes it does that.
Oh.
Like now it's trying to play. It's StreamYard hates me sometimes.
Yeah, that intro. The intro is played already, sir.
Yeah, I was like waiting for my bars to start happening and they didn't happen. That's crazy. Oh my God, StreamYard just hates me. Hopefully it comes back. It's just like you are live with the black screen. So but yeah, I'm here. What the
heck? Are you there? This is a little robotic for a second.
Yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna drop out and come back. I don't know what the heck is going on.
Okay.
Come on.
I hear the intro in the background.
Yeah, right. Like, what's going on here? Let me get out of here.
Technical issues abound, but you are not confused. Today is Monday, but this is Grapsody. I'm Phil Lindsey. Reg is here. Give us a second to get everything together, but we're here.
Oh my God. Leave me alone, StreamYard. Stop it. This is okay. Maybe that was it. Possibly. This is terrible what they done to me.
I mean, I can hear you.
I can still hear Phil in the background. Yeah, but my Firefox thing is gone. Like I can't see nothing. What is this? And I still can hear you back there too. Like I don't know what's happening. I can't see nothing.
Like everything is lagging or is on a delay.
Yeah.
Okay, he is officially out. I assume he'll be back in a second. But yeah, this is Grapsody. I'm Phil Lindsey. It's been quite a week. I'm not used to games coming to a nail biter and my team not turning into my team and letting me down. Actually seeing somebody else's team let them down instead. I was like, oh, that's what it feels like to be on the other side of that. I was like, glad it wasn't me this week. Bears are 500 heading into the bye week. Can't say that I'm excited about the rest of the season, but I'm at least not feeling the dread of going into the bye week down 1-3 because that looked like a real possibility at one point. Other than that, loaded week of wrestling. Not quite as interesting as the top 2 promotions going back to back. But we got a lot of wrestling to talk about. We'll get into that when Reg pops back in. Get your super chats in advance. We'll hit those when he gets in. Those are the best way to get your chat read on this podcast. You can also send us your Humper Chats at humperchats.com/Fightful. Yeah. Cubs were all right this year. My Sox are pretty awful, though, unfortunately. I've tried not to pay it too much attention, but the Sox have been pretty trash. Yeah, the ICE agents in the downtown area is definitely a thing, Van. It's ridiculous. It's a big eyesore. at least we got that hilarious video of them trying to chase down that delivery guy and failing miserably. A whole brigade of these guys failing to catch a guy on a bike was pretty funny. I've already seen people putting the English comedy music behind it, which is pretty funny. But yeah, it is very scary. Other than the fact that that video itself was pretty funny, the implications behind this are pretty not amusing at all. But that is life at the moment. There are a lot of things that I have tried to find humor in because that's what I try to do with everything. And some of it it's pretty terrible. Pretty terrible. I think Reg is back. Hold on. Are you with us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Jeez Louise, that was insane.
Yeah. Yeah, let's hit this from the top.
Yes.
I'm Phil Lindsey. Of course, I am here now with my bespectacled friend. How are you this morning?
It's your favorite rapper, your favorite writer, your favorite podcaster. I made it, Philip Lindsey. I was out in Alabama this weekend celebrating my friend's wedding. Just got back to Oakland 1 hour ago. So very excited to be here with my friend and talk about wrestling. How are you?
Yeah, I was saying while you were out, very crowded weekend of wrestling. Not quite as newsworthy as WrestlePalooza and All Out going head to head, but we did have a lot of wrestling. We got the Stardom show on Friday night. That was on YouTube for free, so people could watch it. People were able to watch Saya Kamitani versus Azumi in the main event. Excellent match, as I expected. Saya's having a fantastic year. She was also on mainstream television, I believe. For that, she was like probably the first Joshi match in years to be on regular TV, which is awesome.
I'm sure so many people watch that.
Yeah. So that was awesome. Also got a TNA show on Friday. We've got NXT on Saturday. The coolest thing about all of this wrestling, though, to me was that, man, all these young Black wrestlers got a spotlight on these shows.
Yeah.
Really dope to see Javon Evans all over these things. He had a fire match on Friday with Sami Zayn on SmackDown, answered the open challenge for the U.S. title. Then we got Leon Slater versus Myron Reed on Victory Road. What a match. If you guys have not seen it, great match.
Javon, the reception I've been seeing to Javon, I mean, it's been going on for a while now, Phil, with what he's been doing in NXT. Like, he has a certain kind of energy that other wrestlers don't bring. But what I've seen of people talking about the SmackDown thing has been nothing but positivity. People are so excited about it. I mean, I know his thing is bouncy or whatever, but like the height that this kid gets is like, well, how do you get up there? I don't even understand this.
Bro, the pictures of him doing the OG cutter and just the height he got on it is just insane. Star making performance, I think. That guy is if they don't think that this guy has a bright future and they don't have this guy earmarked to be a big star over there, they're making a massive mistake, because man, he's an incredible talent. I am at least a little bit less worried by the fact that they are giving him more spots like this. Right after we saw Myron and Leon main event Victory Road, which was fire, because we don't get to see a lot of Black wrestlers main event TNA shows, and the X Division title being the main event, that also was cool. And these guys tore the house down. But then after they finished the match, Leon Slater retained his title. Javon Evans appeared on the screen same night as his appearance on SmackDown to
look at that.
Let the crowd know that he will be challenging Leon at Bound for Glory.
These guys all jump so high. Myron Reed. It's funny because Leon and Javon are kind of spawns of Myron, which is spawn of Ricochet, which is spawn. They're all kind of from the same family tree, and they're all supreme hoopers. To see that Leon Slater has gained so much fanfare and became one of the prominent figures. I mean, main eventing a show like this as the X Division champion, that they see something in him, and we all see something in him, and that's just so amazing that he's doing that. They're going to do this Javon Evan match at the big Bound for Glory show, and I'm sure they're going to tear it down, man. And then, I mean, it's going to get interesting in WWE, Phil, with Javon Evans and possibly going up to the main roster with what happened at the NXT show.
Yeah, we also got from No Mercy, main evented by two black men as well.
Right.
Ricky Saints took on Obafemi for the NXT Championship. Ricky Saints is your new NXT champion. I think he is the 6th black NXT champion. I think he's 6th. But yeah, I thought the match itself was pretty good. It's still getting used to the difference in what NXT is now and what it used to be.
Right.
And also they're still getting used to what WWE's product is compared to everything else, because the other match on the card that was noteworthy was the big cage match, Blake Monroe versus Jordan Grace. And I thought the match was good, but it's just so interesting their take on these big plunder matches and how it's so, I don't want to say safe, but it's so clean, and it's the production value is specifically theirs. And for those kind of matches, I want it to be like,
gritty.
I want it to be gritty, and it's not like I need to see blood in all of them, but it needs to feel dangerous, and I don't ever sometimes feel that way with their big plunder matches. But it was a good match. I think it's Blake's best match since she went over there. But yeah, big news is that Ricky Saints is your new NXT champion.
It felt a little bit surprising, Phil, because I didn't know. It feels like Femi has, is it Femi or Femi? I can never get it.
It's Femi.
Femi. Obafemi has so much momentum, like even more than Javon, it feels like at moments. Like it feels like when people talk about him on the going to the main roster, they're like, this guy's gonna do it, and like that feels exciting for me. And usually this kind of loss could lead to that. Didn't feel like Ricky Starks was exactly right there. Ricky Saints was right there next up to do it. Like I feel like he was going to be NXT champion for sure, but it didn't feel like this was the time to do it.
Yeah, it felt like, Oba has really done everything there is to do down there. That was my real takeaway from it. He had a long reign with the North American Championship. He had a long reign as NXT champion. There aren't many more people down there for him to wrestle. No. And that's kind of the issue with the men's division down there, the world title picture. There's not really that many people for him to work anymore. And the longer he stayed down there as champion, the longer you're going to have to put him, you're going to have to find opponents for him. I think that Ricky is probably in a better spot as champion now, and they can move Oba on. Like, there's so much more I think you could do with Oba in the next few months. Like, just the idea of putting him in a Rumble. The Rumble is about, 3-4 months away. Then, you've got John Cena's retirement tour. I keep saying, like, now that you freed him up, I would give him Cena's last match if it was me.
That's what's up. If you want to make like a star-making performance, that's the way to do it. I think, I'm with you. Ricky Saints being world champion or NXT champion, being cocky and people chasing him, I think there's a lot of potential in that with the kind of where the men's division sits in NXT. So shout out to Ricky Saints. I mean, he came up, he made his name. Things were a little bit not shaky, but like it wasn't moving as much as I thought it should be, but now it's moving, and I think he's going to be in a way better position as NXT champion.
I think he was having some of the same problems that I just described with Oba, where it's like he needed some dance partners, and the men's division just isn't as stacked as the women's division is. And I think that's going to still be an issue, but at least you've got guys like Javon coming up. Tavion Heights was also on No Mercy. He wrestled Ethan Page for the North American Championship. I really like Tavion, man. I think that he's another guy that could have a bright future there, but yeah, it's just he doesn't quite have the opponents. I have to assume maybe he's going to have a match with Trick or somebody coming up.
What are they doing with Trick as at the TNA show? Like, I feel like that's gonna play a little bit more prominence over the NXT stuff, right?
He's got to be dropping his belt finally to Santana at Bound for Glory, I would hope.
If he doesn't, Phil, I don't know what they're doing.
I would hope. We also got the news during No Mercy that there will be an invasion show October 7th. I was surprised it's not going to be a pay-per-view. It's just going to be a special episode of NXT. They've announced that they're going to do the Survivor Series style matches with teams from TNA and NXT, which is interesting.
Looks just like the 2001 Invasion logo. Same thing, same deal. Yeah. They're running kind of the same vibes. And it's like, I mean, they kind of been doing it, Phil, because it doesn't like, I guess it doesn't feel like the freshest thing because we've already been in it, which is a good thing. I mean, having like a prominent show to be like, okay, we're really going to square off, I think is going to be good for NXT. I don't know how TNA is going to do in it.
Is that the day that Dynamite is on Tuesday, by the way? Because usually there's a Dynamite on Tuesday in October.
Title Tuesday.
Okay, so that's why they're doing the invasion angle there. I do think it's smart to keep using like the old pay-per-views for NXT.
IP, yeah.
Yeah, because you've got the IP, so you might as well use it. But I thought that this was going to be a pay-per-view with the way they were setting up this invasion angle, but it's just going to be a special episode of TV. It's an interesting choice.
Stack them up, brother.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
I hope that TNA comes out with something out of it and they just don't get squashed in this whole thing because they do have talented people. We talked about Leon Slater. We talked about Mike Santana. Like they have some individuals that need a push, whatever's happening with Joe Hendry that need a push. And I hope that they get over with this, you know?
Yeah, we got a new TNA Knockouts champion as well because unfortunately Ash by Elegance, I believe, is injured. She had to vacate the belt. And so they set up a match for the vacant belt at Victory Road. And Kalani Jordan is the new champion. Was it really a good sign that they didn't have a TNA wrestler on deck to replace Ash? They had to go with someone from WWE.
Yes,
they might have had someone on deck if Masha didn't also have some terrible allegations out and is currently being investigated. But yeah, Kalani Jordan is the new champion.
That's crazy spot that's going around of her about to hit the Hurricane Rana, but then hitting the power bomb and getting smashed on the outside. I hope that she's okay. I think it is cool that they have faith in her on the other side, Phil, to be like, hey, we need somebody to come out here and kind of represent for this, and somebody that has the spirit of the Knockouts division is Kalani Jordan, and I think it's kind of cool for her to do that. But it's unfortunate, like you're saying, that there wasn't somebody on deck. There was somebody on deck. Even more unfortunate getting into that whole Kira, Masha, allegations, drama, nasty stuff going on out there, Phil.
Yeah, that was not something I expected to come out of the PWI discourse this week. Usually we expect like a lot of internet discourse around the list. I did not expect someone to potentially get canceled because of it. Masha was number 25, correct?
Yes, sir.
She's the highest woman on the list, which people immediately tried to highlight, and then that turned into people like, why are you celebrating this terrible person? And that's when the Dropbox and some of these text messages came out. All very grim stuff. Does not sound good. Again, I want to continue to say, hopefully Akira is doing well. Hopefully that he's healing after the situation. It cannot be a good feeling at the moment to have to relive some of this stuff and to see some of your worst moments with somebody, some of your worst private moments with somebody being put out on the timeline and made public. So hopefully he's doing okay.
Yeah, shout out to Akira, sending love out to him. Insane time to have to open up your phone and everybody's talking about you and some probably the lowest moments of your last couple years and stuff. So that's really unfortunate. Phil, I've came on this podcast a gazillion times and praised and said that Masha was like my favorite independent wrestler, favorite, like all this stuff. And so when we were doing the list and coming up with this stuff, it's like, yeah, Masha's, of course, she would represent that. I didn't know about any of this. Like, I found out with everybody because, like, this isn't stuff that people are just talking about, or if they are, I'm not trying to. That's not really places I'll be hanging out in where we're gossiping about stuff like this. So, I found out when everybody else found out. Went through, saw a couple of things, and was like, "Oh, this is very terrible situation." I hope that everything gets figured out and cleared up, and I hope that Akira is okay out of this because that's a very unfortunate situation.
Yes. For people that are not in the know that did not see it, looks like it's a case of domestic violence. The text messages, I don't have them all in front of me, but they do not paint a great picture of Masha. I think one of the worst things about it, other than of course like the threats and some of the stuff in it, is that she basically admitted that the act that her and Killer Kelly had was basically queer baiting. Like she was just like, I'm not gay. Luckily, everybody knows this is a work. But that didn't come across well. It made it seem like, it didn't look good.
The other language around that stuff where how she was talking about Akira too, and it's like, this is like, and like he's like embracing, he's aware of himself, he's proud, you know what I mean? And like, I didn't like how she was talking crazy up in there. If you guys haven't seen it, trigger warnings for a bunch of stuff inside there. Proceed with caution because it's pretty. There's some nasty stuff. There's some like what stuff. There's some like what's wrong with these. It's a roller coaster.
It's not good. But like you, big fan of Masha. Before this, the
way that they started, the booking started getting taken away, Phil. It was like prestige, and then she was supposed to be at West Coast. I was gonna call her match next month, and then like it just started happening back to back. And it's like, it's interesting, Phil, because with speaking out, there were a lot of men getting canceled, rightfully so, for bad things. We didn't see a lot of women in this situation. High up on top of cards, champions in different organizations type in there, trying to get to their prime stage. It didn't happen like this. So it's interesting to see how people are going to proceed and what's going to happen moving forward.
Yeah. Masha put out a statement. The statement did not read well. I don't know, but her statement is out there. Yes. TNA has said that they are in the midst of investigating. She has been taken off several shows. One of the things that kind of annoyed me when I saw it, because I was like, that's not true, guys. Stop saying that. I saw people saying that she should be held accountable like a lot of men are. And if men's careers are ruined because of these things, then the same should happen to her. There are multiple men that have those kind of allegations against them, and they're still working.
I'm like, which ones are we holding accountable? Like, give me...
They're still working, and there's some that are like legends that are still considered legends regardless. So, yeah, that's not true.
I think I had one of the mushroom elixirs one time, and like, another story for another. I mean, it's like you can pick and choose what you want to do and who you like and where it goes, but like, the wrestling business gonna wrestling business is what I've learned.
Yes, there are problematic people in wrestling that are still a big part of this space, a big part of this industry. So no, everybody that has allegations against them is not held accountable. That's not true.
But you're right, Phil. As someone who's been on the committee for the 500 for the last couple of years, this usually isn't the discourse coming out of us crowning the #1 wrestler of the year. It's usually much different discourse, and it seemed like this was almost immediately. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we were talking about
hours,
right? We were talking about the top 10, talking about the #1, and then like I turn my phone off and turn it back on, and then it's like, oh, actually, this is blown up. Masha Slamovich is out of here. I'm like, wait, what happened? It happened so quickly.
Yeah, very unfortunate situation, man. Yikes.
Wrestling.
Yeah, again, Hopefully Akira is okay. Hopefully he's got a good friend group and loved ones around him. Hopefully this gets sorted out. I've seen that he's working a show coming up.
Yeah. It feels like a good, humble dude. So I hope that everything works out for Akira. Because, like,
yeah.
And I'm just like thinking of all the moments where he was going through turmoil and she's like main eventing and people are praying. I'm on the show, like, oh, that was so great. And he's like, like, this stuff is so unfortunate, man.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. On the subject, PWI 500 did drop this week.
Did it?
There was some discourse. Of course, number one on the list. Number one on the list, Cody Rhodes, second year in a row. Some people were not happy about that, as I would expect. But yeah, let me get it in front of me so I can at least get the top 10 for you guys. As I said, number one, Cody Rhodes. John Moxley came in at number 2. Big Gunt came in at number 3. Hangman Adam Page at number 4. Hiroki Goto, Jey Uso, Swerve Strickland, Seth Rollins, Mystico, and Will Ospreay rounding out the top 10.
You said Jey Uso, then Swerve, right?
Yes. Yeah, and then it gets the top 10 on the surface. It's understandable. Like there's some qualms you can have with it.
We can get into it. I'm sure people have questions.
Yeah, there's qualms you can have in the top 10. But when you get into the next 10, that's where I'm just like, all right, what's going on here? Kazuchika Okada at number 11. Joe Hendry at 12. Zack Sabre Jr. at 13. Obafemi at 14. CM Punk at 15. Bandito at 16. Konosuke Takeshita at number 17. Damian Priest at 18. Trick Williams at 19. And then Jacob Fatu rounding out the top 20. Now, let me just say outright. Let me just say first and foremost.
I'm ready.
Big fan of Joe Hendry. I think Joe Hendry is dope. I think that the year that
love.
Yeah, let's start with love. I think Joe Hendry is great. I think Joe Hendry is great. I think what he's managed to do with TNA for the amount of time he's been in the business is dope. I love that he's finally getting more and more attention. This seems like it's leading to him possibly signing a WWE contract and getting even more exposure. I think that's amazing. I think it's great that he had a WrestleMania match. He had his own merch. All of this stuff, all of that is great. TNA championship, great. There's no way, and I mean no way, there is no way you're going to tell me that Joe Hendry had a better year than Zack Sabre Jr. He didn't have a better year than Obafemi. Let's get that out there too. He didn't have a better year than Obafemi. He did not have a better year than Bandito. And he goddamn sure did not have a better year than Konosuke Takeshita. There's no way. There's no way.
You guys, what I did I think it was the day before the list dropped, I just sent Phil number 11 and number 12. It's just Joe Hendry and Zack Sabre because I knew what was about to happen. I'm like, oh, Phil's about to go ham. And he was, as expected, went ham. He added Kevin on, like, what's up, Kevin? What you did? No, Kevin went after you, right? You're right. Kevin
I did not.
Kevin came into your mentions defending, and yeah. I'm on the committee, like I said, you guys. There's a criteria. This, of course, you wouldn't look at this list and be like, Righteous Reg is on this committee, is what I would like to start this by saying. There's criteria, there's different things, there's different way that people are judged with these, there's numbers. WrestleMania moments take prominence over things, Phil. We've talked about it many times on the show. People screaming your name at every show you're at takes prominence over things. Criteria is different in different stages. Do I believe that Joe Hendry had a better year than those 4 wrestlers? You said 0%. But that's not how. It's not the Righteous Reg list.
Yeah. Again, I know he had a good year, and all those things are true. It turned into like a big, massive meme outside of the wrestling world. He did have a WrestleMania moment, but we're talking about Obafemi, who for the most of this evaluation period was a champion. At the beginning of the evaluation period, he was North American champion, longest reigning North American champion. Then he went on in January to win the NXT championship.
Defenses all the way until 2 days ago.
Yeah, so I feel like that in itself is wrong, that Oba is below Joe Hendry. I also think it's kind of crazy that Kazuchika Okada is not in the top 10, because Kazuchika Okada is another one that was champion for most of the evaluation period, because he was Continental champion, and then he had a big match with Kenny Omega at All In, unified that belt with the international
was champion
belt
for the whole time, wasn't he?
I believe he was. So I think that in itself is kind of incorrect. I think Okada should be in the top 10. But when we had conversations about this and I was trying to predict who I thought was number one, I was like, man, Zach should be at least in the top 5.
Yep.
Because, and I was like, personally, to me, I think Zach should be number one. Because when you list all of his accomplishments, it's hard to tell me that in this case, that 12 other wrestlers had a better year than him.
Right.
So I thought, hey, even if I'm wrong about this, that Zach's not number one, he'll at least be in the top 5, right?
Nope.
Which and when Kevin addressed this, Kevin was like, well, because I said, because somebody was like, it feels like Goto's in the spot that Zach should be in. And I said, but Goto had a good year. Surprisingly great year as champion, proved himself to be a draw. But he didn't have a better year than Zack Sabre Jr. And when I said that, that's when Kevin was like, well, we felt like he had better defenses. He drew bigger houses. Yeah, but we're talking about a guy that in this evaluation period was the first British G1 Climax winner, won the championship in October, went to the Dome, defended the belt back-to-back nights. First person to ever do that, by the way.
Yep.
First non-Japanese wrestler to walk into Wrestle Kingdom as champion and to walk out as champion. And then even after that, he won the belt again. 2-time IWGP World Heavyweight Champion in the same evaluation period.
In the period. Yeah.
Had a monster run in the G1 Climax. Didn't win it, but still had a monster run in it. And he's not top 10? That don't make sense to me. First Tokyo Sport MVP winner that is not Japanese since 2002. Nah. He should have been at least in the top 5. I mean, for my money, he should have been number one. If he's not number one, like I said, there's no way you're going to tell me.
I thought your resume backed it up, honestly.
Yeah, there's no way you're going to tell me that 12 other wrestlers had a better year than him. I definitely there's a lot of people in the top 10 that I fuck with, bro. Like, I think the Ospreay, Mystico, they all deserve their spot. Swerve had a great year as well. He was still champion at the beginning of the evaluation period. He belonged there. Jey Uso, great year. But I think Zach should have been above several of those guys.
I agree that that resume, those 2 wins, the back-to-back domes, that's crazy. That's what there was a couple of debates I went in with, knowing I was gonna have the Goto and Zack Sabre thing was one, because it was like, well, Zack Sabre felt stronger to me, but Kevin, that was Kevin's thing. Like you described, was like bigger houses, like there was a kind of energy when Goto was champion that New Japan was unexpected. And I was like, I mean, I hear what you're saying, you know what I mean? But that's what PWI is, though, Phil. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
That's kind of hard for me. Look,
Jey Uso is number 6, and I'm like, what is Jey Uso doing up here? Like, you know,
I mean, Jey Uso, for what he had this year, Royal Rumble winner, WrestleMania moment, beat Gunther at WrestleMania. He belongs in the top 10. But
that's what we got a debate on the moments you described compared to the moments that Jey Uso has. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but again, when you talk about the energy behind it, the energy behind Zach in Ryogoku, when he just pointed at that belt and people were like, it's happening, it's coming home, he's winning. Nah, it was different. I don't know. I don't know how you don't put that guy in the top 10. I thought that was egregious. I don't know how you defend that, but it is what it is. I think that there were multiple people here. I also kind of don't like this idea that there's just one New Japan guy in the top 10.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Because I do think that. I do think that Goto.
I think sometimes I'll say it as somebody who's on the committee. We're too trying to please everyone. I don't know if that's what they're trying to do, but that's what the vibe feels like when we're doing this top 10. Like, oh, we got to get a TNA guy in, we got to get this guy in, we got to get this guy in, and it's like, what if we just get who the best guys in? And every time I say that, they're like, that's not how this list works. Because immediately there were some people that were like, Cody Rhodes should be number one, and I was like, in what world? But like, I was outbid, you know what I mean? Just because that's what the game is.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I get it. Cody had a great run as champion.
But it's just, I don't want to be the magazine that's like WWE is automatic, and that's what it felt like. This is the first time in the committee that it felt like Cody. I'm like, well, how was Cody Rhodes automatic? Just because he's the biggest star in the biggest company is what I was told, and I was like, that's worth something.
But see, and that's what's funny to me about wrestling in general, as somebody that does media. We constantly hear about how biased media is, how everybody treats AEW like they're just like these media darlings to all the people that are like hardcore wrestling fans. But WWE is still covered heads and tails more than any other company in this business, and rightfully so, because they're the biggest company in the world. And there's certain things that come with wrestling for the biggest company in the world. That gives you, a bigger spotlight, that gives you more influence because more people see you. And I get that part. I don't know, man. I think that like Cody had a good year. WrestleMania main event, at this point 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
That's pretty massive. Like having the big match with Cena, even though the match was not good.
Big star. He's the number one star over there, Phil. He main evented a bunch of shows. Like he did it.
Yeah, he had a good year, but I don't know, man.
It didn't feel as strong as his last year.
It didn't feel as strong as his last year. I think you could have made an argument for other people to be number one for sure. I don't think that Cody was my biggest gripe from this list, though. I think like Cody being number one, I didn't necessarily agree with it.
Like I said, it wasn't super egregious because he is the biggest star in the biggest company,
Yeah, I didn't necessarily agree with it, but it wasn't my biggest gripe. Like I said, that's not nearly as egregious to me as Zach not being in the top 10 at all. Like I just think that's just wrong.
I'm with you totally. I think there needs to be some the criteria, not maybe tweaked, but like we need to figure out if it is like we have to do does there need to be a template on how we develop this, or can we go in raw? Could like Zach and Goto fucking killed it? Couldn't they have been 6 and 7 or something? I don't know. How do these things work?
Yeah, I think that Zach and Goto should have gotten a spot at the top 10, but yeah, there's some people it's hard to argue with their spot in the top 10 as well.
Definitely.
Like it's hard to argue with Mystico, for example. Like you can make an argument that Mystico should have been higher. I know that Dave was saying that in his opinion, based on kayfabe, Mystico should have been number one.
Dave's resume, like your Zack Sabre resume, I was like, yeah, I mean, if you sit down and break it down, like it's not WWE, but Mystico's selling out houses every Friday for like 500 years. You know what I mean? Like he's been doing it for a long time on top. And when he comes out, like he's a top guy on there. Definitely earned his position. I thought that they were saying recency bias because I was like Hangman Adam Page when I was going into the list because it was kind of post all out, but it was like, or all in, but it was like, yo, what do you mean? Like, look what's going on here. So there was, I think the people that got in besides Zack Sabre Jr. got in.
Yeah. But see, even Hangman, like I agree with Hangman with the year he had. I agree a spot with him for him in the top 10. Hangman didn't have no better year than Zach, dog.
Not with that resume.
I hate to be the sole guy that's like New Japan flag waver. Like
Nah,
I've been a big Zach guy for this entire time. Like, but still, Zach had a better year than Hangman, objectively. Like, come on.
I'm with you, G. They call me AEW young boy. I'll go in there waving that flag, and I think you should come in there waving that flag because what you're saying is valid. I'm saying it's a strong ass resume. Like there's some people that never have done what he did and never will do what he did.
Yeah, big historic feats that non-Japanese wrestlers.
I was gonna say, not a Japanese wrestler. He ain't supposed to be doing this.
And yeah, no, I think he should have been way higher on this list. I'm
not mad. It's PWI. Like I said, it's a criteria. At this point, I come into the BW 500 of like, now I just want like the wrestlers that are really going to appreciate this thing to get on this list so they can do it. Cause like the top 10 guys are like, oh, cool. Or like, fuck this, who cares? But the people that are, again, like I said, with the BW 500, 350 and 421 and 165, those are the people that really care about this list. And that's what I go in there to try to help.
Yeah. I mean, there were some wrestlers here that I was happy to see them get recognized. Regardless of where their spot is. We talked about Myron. Myron made the list at 107. I was glad to see Bolton Oleg made it. I think he made it he made it at 111th. Man like Therese, man, that guy, he's one of those guys that I feel like in the right position with the right company. At some point, this is going to be all his. That guy is so talented. So really excited to see him.
Super charismatic. Him and Reed, I'm like, why are him and Reed just floating? Dude, these guys are like the future of the business.
Yeah. Yeah. I still can't believe that Myron is not signed anywhere.
It's crazy.
I don't get that at all. But yeah, good to see people like them. Alex Kane, of course, was also dope. Landed at 134. Shelwa, who just had the fire match with Lee Moriarty. Good to see him get recognized. It was somebody else that I'm forgetting that was saying that they've never made the list before, and this was their first year. I can't remember who it was.
Oh, nice.
I can't remember who it is. Sorry.
Yeah. See, when I hear stuff like that, or when it eventually gets to stores and people are going to start buying it and going to buy it at the grocery store, and the story is always kind of the same. Of I used to come to this store with my mom, and now I'm buying this magazine for my mom or something. It's the best. Yeah.
I couldn't rail against this like I really wanted at one point, because I was like, oh no, this is wrong. And then when I saw some of it in entirety, I was like, oh no.
Oh, good for me though. I thought I had a good laugh at it, and I thought again you brought some very valid points, and Kevin addressed a lot of people on Twitter, and if you still have your gripes, he's there. Shout out to Kevin.
Yeah, man. Look, shout out to Kevin for being
a tough spot.
For being in that kind of spot and being a good sport every year. He knows he's going to take heat from people no matter what. And he doesn't shy away from criticism. I know it's got to be annoying to spend weeks upon weeks working on something, and then when it drops, you got to hear all of these people like, oh, this doesn't make sense, or this list sucks. And
this is what I would have done.
Yeah, I get that side of it. It is very hard to list 500 wrestlers every year and put together a list of them. But
sure is.
Yeah. Serial Man rounding out the list at 500. Very hilarious.
Slam, baby.
Nice to see people giving it up to Serial Man. Yeah. The homie Il O'Neill getting his spot like he does almost every year. Very funny as well.
Yep. Great to see them people. They will be spotlighted here in a couple of weeks on another list, the BW 500 that's getting worked on. So get ready, you guys.
Yeah. But yeah, send us in your super chats. That is the best way to get your chat read on this podcast. You can also send us a Humper Chat, humperchats.com/Fightful.
We always appreciate your super chats and humper chats. I already started reading Van Twin Blade's first super chat here, and it was making me laugh. That's why I started laughing. So thank everybody for being here. Thanks for the support as always. Let's get into a few of these, Phil. We move forward. Van Twin Blade, our homeboy, starting the show, says, doing a show called Invasion on 10/7. What's next? Bringing back Insurrection for January 6th. Stay classy, WWE. Thank fuck we have a quality wrestling program like AEW giving us women's blood and guts.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Man, Twin Blade, those are some. You're a poet with those words. Yeah, we're definitely going to get into some AEW women's talk here moving forward. But Van Twin Blade again said those words earlier. Shout out to him for helping us out. Lewis R says, Monday edition. Happy Monday, guys. Lots to talk.
Yeah,
the internet was pretty nasty last week, Phil. Beyond the Masha stuff, like the other wrestling stuff was. Put your phone down. That's it. That's all.
Never mind.
You don't want to? You don't want to?
I don't.
Thanks, Lewis. Luke Thornton says, Blood and Guts feels like a big push for Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, no, we'll get into Blood and Guts talk. Very happy that Jamie is at the center of this. Mm-hmm. Very happy that Queen Amanada is also a focal point in it. I think that's great. For Tekla to be coming into the company and she's already a part of it. That's also awesome.
Yeah, super dope that they've been building this for months kind of quietly, but also not quietly by having a lot of these women kind of at each other's throats for moments. Amanada and Tekla were going at it hardcore and still are going at it hardcore. I think Jamie coming back and kind of being able to announce it and being the focal point is going to lead to some big things for her. But again, we're going to get into it. Luke, appreciate that. Coffee Black says, Credit Boy is about to try to be all up in the Super Bowl halftime show, isn't he?
I saw a lot of people turning this into. Remember when wrestling fans acted like they didn't know who he is, and now he's headlining Super Bowl, and people trying to tie it back to wrestling. It's like, this guy had this whole big, massive career before he showed up in WWE. Like,
wrestling don't got nothing to do with this.
Was one of the most streamed artists in the world before that.
Shout out to the homie Bad Booney for being announced for the Super Bowl halftime show. I think that's super dope, man. Like,
I think that's awesome.
Every time I see clips of him at his concerts, I'm like, oh yeah, if it's like anything like that, it's going to be insane.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. With where we are as a country, I am happy again after last year that it's another person of color doing the halftime show with where we are with some of these topics around immigration and the situation on ice. Very happy that Puerto Rican man is going to be doing a halftime show, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Them flags about to be waving. They about to be so mad. They were so mad at Kendrick. They're about to be mad again at Bad Bunny. It's going to be great. Can't wait. Appreciate that, Coffee Black. Ark Do It says, happy Grapster Day. CMLL and Pokemon was dope. Was something that let friends who typically don't care about wrestling enjoy a cool show.
Yeah, I did not watch the show, but a lot of the images and the clips I saw from it were really cool. Mystico with his Lucha mask. I think my man Hechicero was supposed to be Machoke. That was cool. I don't remember which wrestler it was that had her Togepi gear on. It looked cool. Looked fun.
Yeah. It seems like kind of what the vibes have been recently with wrestling. There's a lot of kind of that crossover, kind of like, let's try something not a typical wrestling show. Let's involve things that we know wrestling fans are going to also like in it. And I think that's great. I think more wrestling companies should embrace that.
Yeah, 2025 has been high key the year of the luchador. Lucha Libre has been such a big fixture in wrestling this year. Getting this crossover with Pokemon, that's really awesome. They just put out those Jordans, the El Vuelos that look fire. They're also inspired by Lucha Libre. Big year for luchadors, man.
Bandito been flipping in them boys everywhere. He can't wait to flip somewhere with them. Yes, I don't know if we will get to it at any point today. If we're talking about luchadors, Kyle Fletcher versus fucking Commander from Collision, brother. Just like Righteous Reg Invitational, spot foo, no cares in the world. Kyle Fletcher, Philip Lindsey is the guy. Like, give him the belts. I don't care about nothing here. This is the TNT title reign that I was expecting from him. Put this fool on Saturdays, give him a big match, and let him go crazy.
Yes.
Quite a guy. Thanks, Arduit. And then Van Tumble says, here's $5. Put Tootie at number 7 on the BWI. That's really high. It's number 7. Appreciate that, Van Twinblade.
Hey man, stakes is high, I guess. I don't know.
Stakes are high. Stakes are very high.
Stakes are definitely high at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Metaphorically and literally, because groceries are very expensive.
Oh my God. Stakes are really high, Phil.
Yeah.
Stakes is high. That's all of our super chats for now. You know them stakes is high.
We got Humper chats. We got one from Tony P. Well, we got multiple from Tony P. But he says a lot has happened in the wrestling world this week. I was going to give Petty of the Week for shits and giggles for his quote about Gail, or just Gail in general. However, the shit is not funny anymore with Gail. She needs to get off her phone. I will offer a counterpoint to that Twitter itself is annoying. I think that Gail is doing a lot, but I also just think that Twitter and this insistence that everybody has to take a side is very annoying. I think that this started with her just, giving her opinion on death matches. I didn't agree with what she said, but then this turned into stuff that it didn't turn into. Brett Lauderdale responding to her and saying, name me one memorable Gail match, which is crazy. To act like this woman doesn't have any memorable matches just because your company is built off of deathmatch wrestling and you felt offended by that, that's fine. But you could have responded to her opinion without trying to devalue her career. Then this whole Riho thing, don't agree with her on that either. But I think people have taken this way too far. It's gone way longer than it needs to. I think that she's been defending herself way too much in this, and she doesn't really need to. At this point, I just think everybody could just chill out. Yeah, it's just people turning this into a WWE versus AEW thing and calling her a TKO shield is crazy. Gail Kim, of all people, you're calling a TKO shield. Gail Kim, who has criticized WWE for over a decade, all of a sudden she's a TKO shield. Like, what are we talking about? Like, what are we talking about right now?
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you, Phil. It felt like she felt like she had to pick a side, kind of. You know what I mean? It wasn't just like she was defending. She was like, well, now I'm with these guys on this. And it's like, well, no, you don't have to. Well, why does everybody got to pick a side? Why can't you just say what you got to say and get out,
Yeah, people coming behind what she said and turning it into, see, look, but this is what AEW fans did to me, and look at JD from New York over here, and people trying to side with her because look, it's an anti-AEW side. I'm over here. It's like, guys, stop. Like, we don't have to do this every time. We don't have to turn everything into AEW versus WWE. We don't have to pick a side in things. You could just not buy into rage bait, because that's what a lot of this is. Like, a lot of people trying to get attention off of either siding with Gail or dunking on Gail, and it just don't matter that much. It's not that serious. I think that people are also having two different conversations, because this happens a lot on Twitter where somebody will say something and they're not actually understanding what the other person is saying. They start talking past each other and not actually having a conversation. Because Gail's initial point was, I've only seen one Riho match, and I was uncomfortable with the way she was presented in it. Now, again, I don't agree with what she says about Riho, but she also is admitting this is my opinion of it based off of one match. I don't think she's saying that I don't like Riho as a person. I don't like Riho as a wrestler. I think she's saying that just based off of this one match, this is how I felt about it. Now, again, I think that is a uninformed take. I think she's wrong. But people then trying to turn it into, well, why are you bullying Riho? this thing happens quite a bit, and I will say this as well.
Mm-hmm.
This thing happens quite a bit with AEW fans, where because people like Cornette and some of these other outlets are constantly railing against AEW or constantly railing against somebody like Riho, the fan base feels like they all have to jump up and defend Riho or defend this company at every turn. And so people overcompensate a lot of times to defend. And I feel like that's part of what's happening here, of people trying to lump her in with Cornette because she said, oh, well, I like Cornette. I don't think that Gail is sitting at home listening to every episode of the Drive Thru and all of his podcasts and agreeing with all his takes on his podcast. I think people are trying to make it into, oh, well, see, she's a Cornetter and she's a TKO. It might be that she just shared an opinion that you don't agree with, and you could just say, I disagree with this, and move the fuck on.
Yeah, that's what I came out of with when she was like, oh, I haven't watched a Rio match in years. I'm like, well, why are we listening to Gail Kim's opinion on Rio then? Like, I don't like, you got to take that and then move on. Like, you can't be like, oh, what she's judging off of one moment, then that's what you should do too. Like, you shouldn't be like, well, here are all the reasons why she doesn't. It doesn't matter all the reasons.
Here are all of these. Here's all this history that you're missing. You're missing that Cornette said all these terrible things about her and that Riho was bullied off of Twitter, and this is why you shouldn't say these things. Okay, all of that is valid, but I don't think that Gail was doing this in a way to then also jump in on a chorus of dunking on Riho. I think that she gave an opinion on something that was uninformed, and I think once you get into defense mode and it feels like people are now coming and jumping on you for this opinion, you're not trying to listen to everything people are saying. You're just saying, well, wait a minute. I just gave an opinion. Why are you guys yelling at me? And I don't think that that's the right thing to do. It's never a great idea to try to tweet through it. And she has spent almost a week trying to tweet through it. That's not the way. And it is not
still going, Phil.
It has not made her look good. But again, I just continue to say that we don't have to engage every person that says something negative about AEW or something that you like. You don't have to spend an entire week or days upon end arguing with that person or making them the main character of Twitter for the day because you disagree with them.
It's been too long, you guys. This is supposed to be a one-day thing. You're supposed to be like, hey, Gail Kim, you're wrong, and then move forward. It's been like 6 days. People are still finding new points, making new things, bringing. I'm like, yo, get out of here.
Yeah, it's wild watching people go, well, she's still going, but then you're also still engaging it.
She's quote tweeting something. She ain't just talking.
I don't know. And I saw just the way, because this is how Twitter does things. Just the way people were talking to her was kind of crazy. And again, I disagree with quite a bit of what she was saying, but people then turning that into, oh, well, who are you to even talk? You never did anything with your career, and calling her names and stuff. And it's just like, but why you got to do that? Like,
that was turned crazy.
Yeah, that got crazy.
I didn't agree with the deathmatch take at all, but like, she can have an opinion on it. She's a person in the world. Even as not a pro wrestler or a pro wrestling fan, you can have an opinion on anything. It's if you want to accept that opinion is how you move forward with it.
Yeah, I do think it sucks that you have such a big name in women's wrestling giving an uninformed opinion on Rio.
After she just had that dope match with Mercedes too. Like she had just cooked too.
I do think that sucks. But I also think that there's nuance to conversations about Joshi wrestling and just the way that idols are treated in Japan. There's more to the conversation that I think people understand. And I think there might be something in it that Gail is seeing that, although I disagree with and I feel is inaccurate, I don't think she's coming from this place like that. The thing that she's describing doesn't exist.
Right. I mean, I think that it felt like there's a lot of personal experiences in this when she was describing that, how she felt how she felt looking at Riho is, I'm sure, how people felt looking at her. That's what's also kind of crazy about it. Cause it's like, I think that people probably said the same things about you. So I don't really understand why you're taking this stand.
You got to understand also the era of wrestling that she came up in.
Yeah.
Like, she came from an era with like the Attitude Era, bra and panties matches, and all this other
Mhm.
stuff. So I think some of this is her being very protective of women's wrestling and
Right.
other things. But at the same time, I do think that she is incorrect in her assessment
1000%.
about Riho. But I just think that it went to a place that it don't really need to go.
Because you can't say that Gail Kim and Awesome Kong isn't a part of the reason why a lot of shit is going on today. Like, if you take that away, like, it's like you could say things about Gail, but try to say like her contributions didn't do a fucking shit ton for the pro wrestling, and women in pro wrestling is insane.
I saw a lot of people trying to say, well, we got to stop throwing the word legend around loosely. I agree. We do throw the word legend around loosely, but when you're one of the greatest TNA knockouts of all time, and
you built the division,
were integral in what that division is, I think it's apt to call her legend. To try to make it seem like she's not a legend just because you disagree with some things she said on Twitter is crazy. And I just wish people should stop doing that. Like, man, there's a lot of people in the world you're just going to disagree with, but trying to like rewrite history and say, oh, well, you weren't really that great anyway. We don't got to do that. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, some things can just be two separate things. I disagree with that, but you're still Gail Kim. You still can, again, have that opinion. You do not have to agree with that opinion, and a lot of that opinion was wild. But she can say whatever she wants. She could tweet through it, and people are going to still respond. She responded to Kenny. There's things getting mixed up. Dave's in there. Like, if everybody just put the fire out, we wouldn't still be seeing the fire.
Yeah, one of the funny things about this is she seemingly got pretty upset with Dave, and if you followed what Dave was saying, both on the Observer and on Twitter, he was defending her. He was trying to defend her, and she came at him, and I was like, "But wait a minute, what did he do?"
Dave and his fake stars. I'm like, wait, no, he was going to bat for you, I think.
It was a few times where she said something, and I'm just like, but wait, did you actually hear what he said, or did you actually read what he said? Because I don't think that's what you thought, but all right.
I think she just got to a point where a gazillion people were shooting at her, and she just started shooting back. She's like, here we go. What you want? What you want? Who's talking shit? Who's doing this? But yeah, we got to quit. Like, we can't have this feel of like Bully Ray's the main character one day, and then fucking Gail Kim's the main character one day, and then Mark Henry's the main. We can't live our lives like this.
Yeah, it was way too much. Yeah, AEW fans against this person every day, and I know that she singled out AEW fans, and she had tweeted things that I also was just like, that's not helping. You probably shouldn't do that. But you know, AEW fans then turn to get into AEW fans versus Gail Kim, and then you know, all of the podcasters and people that you would expect then turn and get into, haha, see, I told you AEW fans suck, and look how they're treating Gail Kim. It's like, oh god, all of you guys just shut up.
There was some big AEW news and events announced this week that we're going to talk about, and we should be talking about those, not fighting with Gail Kim on the fucking internet. That's it. That's all we're trying to say.
Yeah. The other discourse that I was just like, guys, are you really serious? Throughout the week, we got the aftermath of WrestlePalooza.
I forgot.
We got the aftermath of WrestlePalooza because, of course, WrestlePalooza was a week ago on Saturday. Went back to back with AEW All Out. Not a great day at the office for WWE. I think most people came out of the weekend saying that AEW had the better show. WrestlePalooza was a lot of hype and not much happened. We've seen the quote now several times from Triple H where it's going to be big things happening, big surprises. We didn't get any of that. We got more of the same. And so I think a lot of the criticism of WrestlePalooza on the timeline was pretty much on board. Of course, some people were saying that it was terrible, it was mid, which is their opinion. But I don't think anything was that crazy.
No.
I did not expect to get on here, to get online Monday morning and see people making a big deal out of the ESPN review of WrestlePalooza, written by a friend of the show, Andreas Hale. Which, bro, Andreas, it's my guy. Like, that guy couldn't be a nicer guy. Just great person all around.
You were just talking about not supposed to throw a word around. I'll throw it around. This Andreas Hale is a legend. Fuck all y'all. What y'all talking about? This guy has done some legendary things in pro wrestling, in hip hop, in MMA. Like, he's a figure out here.
Yeah. Great guy. Not just saying that as somebody that like has interacted with him a few times, just all around great guy. He is one of the few people in this space that from day one has been very supportive of what we do here. When we did the Blue Wire studio in Las Vegas, that was partially because of Andreas. He's just been like our corner from day one.
The brunches that he's done for a couple of the WrestleMania weekends to get all the black creatives together in wrestling space have been so great. Like, he's been such a great person to bounce ideas off and be around in this space. That we're just setting the table for what, because I got on mine. I'm like, wait, they're talking about Andreas, Phil? Like, why are they saying that? What do you mean?
Yeah, just all around great guy. But I did not expect his review to be everywhere. The screenshot of him giving WrestlePalooza a C was everywhere, and people were mad. And
a C, Phil?
I was just like, well, it's not like he said the show was bad. He gave it a C. A C is just basically average. He just said, all right, it was fine. And he shared the opinion that a lot of us shared, that, of course, Io versus Stephanie was the best match on the show. It kind of carried the show. He gave, the other shows, the other matches individual grades. But I did not expect people to be this upset. And I mean, this is just where we are with wrestling discourse at the moment. Of course, when it comes to either of these companies, you're never going to hate this company enough for people that hate it. You're never going to trash it enough for people to hate it, and you're never going to praise it enough for people that are like nothing but pro WWE or pro AEW. So it didn't really matter what he said. If he gave that show a B+, for example, then another crowd would have been mad at him, because they would have been like, well, what do you mean? This show's not a B+. And so,
and if he would have gave it an A, people would have been like, you're lying. And that would have integrity crazy,
They would have tried to make him out to be biased. And what do you let me tell you? As somebody that has been at Bleacher Report since 2020, Bleacher Report distributed AEW pay-per-views at one point. So we had to hear constantly that Bleacher Report is biased and Bleacher Report is just shills. And so he had a responsibility here with the debut on ESPN to give a fair and objective criticism of this pay-per-view. And I thought that he did that. And so for people to then try to come after him for that was just wild.
It's so funny, Phil, because I saw a bunch of like WWE fans that were like, oh, WrestlePalooza was fine. Like on the timeline.
Exactly.
After the show,
mad.
And then he did a review and he was like, that show was fine. And everybody was like, what? How could you ever say that? I'm like, wait, what happened? Like, you just said this yesterday, though. What changed?
Yeah, I saw people trying to bring up some old tweets and go, look, he's an AEW fan. It's just like, guy that reviews wrestling watches more than WWE. Trey Bizarre.
People that be finding old tweets are the absolute worst. But I thought, the integrity thing was what getting me. Is like, what do you guys expect? Like, they were, well, ESPN just gave all this money to WWE. How could they ever have somebody on their staff? Blah blah blah. If he's influenced by money that ESPN gave WWE, he shouldn't be writing these articles like that. Like, what kind of integrity do we have here, you guys?
And I don't know if people understand this, but ESPN has been doing the reviews and doing coverage of pro wrestling before this. This isn't new.
Ain't new.
And he's been doing coverage of WWE before WrestlePalooza weekend.
He's not new.
He's made his opinions about wrestling known for a long time.
For years.
So it's really confusing to see people act like, oh, this guy that's just basically he's an AEW plan. It's like, this guy had a podcast at one point. He did a lot of coverage of wrestling before he got over there. The people that he's friends with over there at WWE that people don't know about, like, wait a minute, like that guy, that's the guy y'all are saying is biased. Like, and again, people trying to bring up old tweets to dunk on him, which let me tell you, if you were bringing up old tweets and trying to say this guy doesn't have integrity, you are a loser. you are a complete loser. I think trying to judge somebody based off of some old tweets and try to act like, oh, well, he has no integrity. Nah, you don't even know the guy. You're just wrong. No. You're wrong. And I think it's wild to try to say he doesn't have any integrity because he reviewed a show and he didn't give it the grade that you wanted.
And I saw losers running campaigns, trying to get ESPN to get him out and all this nasty. I was like, what is... Get a job, please get a job.
Because of a
bad review, not even a bad review. I can't even say a bad review. Average review, Phil, for an average review.
Because of a C, and he he responded to it as I expected him to, as somebody that knows him. I thought his responses were hilarious. When I got up that morning, and he shared the Drake GIF, dying laughing at that. He did a Busted Open where he talked about it, and I don't know what people expected of him, but people like going to his responses to Ricochet and going, well, look, see, he gets along with this AEW wrestler. See, it's collusion here. It's like, guys, you know what collusion means? Like, why are we acting like this is like some criminal case or there's like some big conspiracy or some cover up here? There's no cover up. He gave the grade that he felt this show deserved. And he has friends that are working at AEW. He has people that he gets along with that work with AEW, but he also had friends with WWE.
Yep, and friends at MLW and friends in GCW. Like this guy
TNA and all over the industry. Like, what are we talking about? Like,
what a sick life.
it was crazy. I saw a lot of people saying really wild things about him, and it was just like, this couldn't be any more off base. He's got his opinion just like anybody else does. And look, if you watched that show and you thought it was better than a C, that's your opinion. But he gets paid to give his opinion, and that was his opinion. You don't have to agree with it.
I saw a lot of the podcast boys, the guys over on that side with less integrity, that were like, I would have did this. I would have wrote this glowing review. And I'm like, yes, because you ain't got no fucking integrity, dog. Like, you don't care about this. You just care about whatever bottom line you think. Like the way that some people were talking about it that like are prominent figures, I was like, I hope you don't get the opportunity to do this because that sounds crazy.
There people I like, but I saw some things being said that I was
right? Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I like these people.
Yeah. There were things being said that I thought were kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the space now. That's everybody. Again, we got to pick a side. And even some of the talk of, look, ESPN is unhappy with them because it's great. No, that's not how these things work. Somebody that works for ESPN wrote a review, and that was their opinion of it. This doesn't affect that partnership at all. This doesn't change anything. And people using that to review to say that the company was unhappy with the results from WrestlePalooza is wild, because it's another, people just don't understand how these things work.
I'm just thinking of like some intern running into the boss's office with like, hey, the internet is so mad at this Andreas Hale for this wrestling review he did. And the boss being like, get the fuck out of my office. What are you wasting my time with this bullshit for?
Yeah, we got the report that some people from WWE weren't happy with the review, or they were confused by it. But again, that doesn't affect anything here. That doesn't affect this relationship. That doesn't change the fact that this is $1 billion rights agreement. You think that all of a sudden this is going to throw a wrench in $1 billion rights agreement because somebody wrote a review? What are y'all talking about?
I just can't know. A review like this is gonna tank the whole thing. Andreas Hale's gonna tank this whole
single-handedly.
He's gonna do it. It's over. Billions of dollars just gone because of some one single regular average review. He said the show was fine. He praised one of the matches. Like, I don't really get what what's going on here? Like, where are we landing, Phil? You can't do anything. You can't say nice. You can't say bad. Like, you can't even say it was in the middle. It's a bigger conversation that I've been thinking of a long time, because we talked about it a little bit on this podcast, occupied the word mid, and like they say things that are mid and they don't really understand that they'll be like, that's just mid, and then they'll say trash 2 seconds later. It's like, well, is it mid or is it trash? Because those are two completely different things.
People don't understand what mid means. Some of these people don't know where the term originated.
Right. And now average reviews, Phil, are just trash. Like, if you say it's in the middle, it's trash. Like, if it's not the best thing you ever heard, then it's the worst. And people saw his C review and they're like, oh, this guy thinks this show was the worst. And that's not what it was.
That's not what he was saying. But yeah, also in the aftermath of both of these shows going back to back. Yeah, I think that Tony Khan came out of this looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure people will be upset that we're saying that, but I think he came across good. He never came out and tried to like lash out at them trying to counter program. He just moved the show. The tickets still moved very well. This did not affect their ticket sales. It did not affect their buys for the pay-per-view. Nope. They still had the better night, in my opinion. Their show has gotten the better reviews out of the weekend. The attempt to counter program them did not harm them at all. It did not harm AEW. The optics of or more than anything, were the biggest talking point. And that's what we talked about last week, of how that's exactly what WWE wanted. They wanted optics, and they got optics. I mean, you can also get into that for an entire week, even if they weren't talking about WrestlePalooza, they were talking about the reception of WrestlePalooza. They still weren't talking about AEW All Out.
Right.
And that's exactly what WWE wanted. And that's why I'm confused why people would think that they were upset. Because I don't think they were upset at all. No. I don't think it matters. I think they're
still talking about the show.
Exactly. They're looking at it like this show was still the most searched thing for a lot of people that week. Our wrestlers were still talked about heavily that week.
Yep.
People that may have been writing articles or doing big coverage for AEW All Out ended up writing about WrestlePalooza. You can say what you want about bias, and this is the funny thing about people trying to say ESPN is biased or that Andreas is biased. Was there a AEW All Out review that came out from ESPN?
What was the letter grade, Phil? Because I didn't see it.
No. So ESPN took AEW off of their header. There's no category for AEW, and we're arguing bias because he gave the grade a C.
I didn't even think about that. There wasn't even an AEW review. There wasn't even one.
There is no coverage coming out of ESPN for AEW All Out, and we're arguing about bias when they covered one show particularly. Y'all know what this word bias means? Because I'm not arguing that Andreas is biased.
He's slowly tripping away from the inside, Phil. He's just like the smallest little ticks.
and of course, I'm not arguing that Andreas is biased because he also did not cover AEW All Out for ESPN. But I think it's extremely ironic that we're arguing about bias when people spent the entire week arguing about a review for one show and less time talking about the show that most of us agreed was the better show.
Yep. Like, people were defending WrestlePalooza being a good show when it wasn't really a good show. And they spent the whole week doing that. And I don't feel like that without the review, that wouldn't have been the same.
No.
It would have came and went.
No. But I believe that was by design. And I've been saying that from the beginning, that AEW far and away had the better show of the weekend. But
didn't matter.
Most of the coverage that I saw was around WrestlePalooza.
Yep.
A lot of it. Some of the other aftermath that I saw out of this, and I wrote about it for Bleacher Report, is there's an age problem here, isn't there? When one of the biggest draws for this show is Brock Lesnar coming back, who is 48 years old. John Cena, CM Punk, who is 40 plus.
Yep.
I mean, even some of the other bigger names here are late 30s and up.
Mm-hmm.
This company's got to start pushing some younger guys. I think that it was very telling here that a few weeks ago when we were talking about Drake doing that terrible interview with Bobby Aldoff, Drake mentioned the WWE wrestler. He said that Rhea Ripley was his muse, and that was a big thing. It was aggregated by all of the wrestling sites. Drake ended up having the theme song for the weekend with Nokia, but Rhea wasn't on the show. One of the biggest young stars that you have in this company, period. Not man or woman. One of the biggest young stars, period, you have in this company is getting that kind of attention outside of wrestling bubble, the attention that you want.
Yes.
And you're doing a debut on ESPN and she's not on the show. That's an interesting choice. Man, I just read a quote this morning from Saya Kamatani, and Saya was saying the thing that made her want to do her current character was watching Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. And you don't have that woman on this show.
I don't understand their first show debut on a new network strategy, because Netflix was the same. They put out a show that throughout the year, you're never going to see this show. Like, this isn't going to be Raw of the first night of Netflix. Like, it's going to be the wrestlers that wrestle here throughout the year. It's not going to be The Rock and The Undertaker's here and all these big stars and changing it. And like, Cena's about to retire. Brock Lesnar's on his like 1 foot out the fucking door. Like, that shouldn't be the main story of this. This should be the young wrestler. Like you're saying, Rhea Ripley is a huge star, gigantic. Yes. When she comes out now, like, you feel it. Like, she represents something different. Put her in the fucking main event. Put her on the show at least. You have to show the ESPN brand new fans or people you're trying to convert that this is the future of the company. And where was she?
Yeah, she should have been on the show. I mean, at least you had Brian Breaker on the show. Brian represents the new school in some ways, but you know, it was an interesting choice to not have Rhea involved at all. Rhea was involved in the main event of Raw a few days later, which was Heat. If you not see it, Rhea versus Asuka was a great match. I think the storytelling they've been doing with Asuka and Io, it very much seems like Asuka and Io are doing a lot of the building blocks for this story on their own. Asuka's been doing a lot on her YouTube channel to push this story forward. She's been great. We knew the turn was coming. The turn was great. I was sitting there as a big fan of everybody involved, big fan of Asuka, and I was just like, don't do this. Don't turn her. I knew it was coming, but even like Kyrie being distraught and like Kyrie's like beating her down and like tearing up at the same time, and I thought it was really, really well done. Hopefully they do not drop the ball with the story, because we've seen other turns and other things that did not get a great payoff. So hopefully this plays out well.
I mean, as long as they let them cook for some matches, right? That really will do it, right? Let them have this nice little feud, the matches we've been wanting for years and years, build a little building block. I think that could do it.
Yes. But yeah, I was very surprised and not surprised at some of the fallout from last weekend. That whole review thing was just so wild. Like, I texted Andreas at one point and I was like, they're still talking about this. When is this still a thing?
Yeah, I messaged him after I watched a clip of JBL be like, I can't believe they did this. Like, they got JBL talking, like, everybody's talking about you, dog. What's going on? Yep. And Andreas is just laughing. I'm like, dog, what? And he didn't even, it's so funny because he didn't do nothing, but like, I like that he went when he was on Busted Open and was like, you're never going to compromise my integrity. I don't care about what ESPN or WWE, what the relationships are. I'm going to be a journalist with integrity. Like, that's what you have to be.
Yeah. He got on Busted Open, like you said, and he gave his Forrest Gump, where he's just like, this was the grade I gave it, and that's all I had to say about that. And I was like, hey, man, look. What are you going to do?
What do you think? Everybody attacking as somebody who writes articles, Phil. If you wrote an article and then everybody was like, "Hey, Phil, you're wrong," are you going to go and change the article? What did they think Andreas is going to go and change the grade? Like, I don't know what they wanted from this.
Yeah, perfect example of this is one of the biggest articles I wrote when I started Bleacher Report was like currently who is the biggest megastar in wrestling at the moment, and it was Kenny Omega versus Roman Reigns, and I picked Roman because I thought that Roman was the obvious choice, was like how big of a platform he is, how big he was at the height of the bloodline, at the height of his run as a tribal chief. And it was so funny because you had people that were conflicted because they so wanted to say that I was biased because they made up in their head, oh, he's a Bleacher Report guy, he's biased, I know who he's going to pick. And then they read it and it was like, oh, and then they tried to find something else to be mad about with it because they already wanted to be mad. And then there were the AEW people, of course, they were like, how can you pick Roman Reigns? And I'm like, I feel like I made my argument. It wasn't like I just said it's Kenny Omega just because personally, if it's who I'm a bigger fan of, it's Kenny Omega. But objectively at the time, the bigger star was Roman Reigns. But that's why I'm like, you can give your opinion, but when we have a job to do here to, objectively judge these things, most of us are going to just give like the facts around it and try to build an argument. And I thought that's all he did.
Right. That's pretty much it. Like he went in and did it, and he's going to continue to do it. I don't think that any of the companies were like, get this guy out of here. Because again, he has a long history of doing great things, and this isn't going to change it.
Yeah. But to my point earlier with that article in particular, there are people on both sides that were like, oh, this guy doesn't know anything, or, oh, this guy's right on the money. It's just like, well, you're not going to please everybody. That's just how these things go. And as somebody that does not do a review show, that does not write the reviews for Bleacher Report, you got to have thick skin to do that, man, because there's always going to be a target on your back because people are always going to disagree. Somebody somewhere is going to disagree.
It's funny, Phil, how like ratings sometimes every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, Dave Meltzer's ratings don't matter. On Friday, they matter though. Every other day, you know what I mean? Like, cause sometimes it happens like this Andreas thing means something, but it also doesn't mean anything because ratings don't matter. So what are ratings? Who cares?
Yeah, these things mean something when people want them to mean something.
Right.
His opinion doesn't mean anything. He doesn't matter because I disagree with him. But if he wrote the review he wanted, then you wouldn't be saying that.
Right.
So I don't know. People have to stop basing their opinions on people on, whether they disagree with them or not.
Andreas is like we're talking about with Kevin, tough spot, man. Writing for ESPN about WWE, like it's never gonna be like Phil is saying, right down the middle where everything's like, okay, that was chill. Like you're always going to be getting attacked no matter what grade you get.
No matter what. Yeah, send us in your super chats. That's the best way to get those read on this channel or this podcast, rather.
How do you feel about the ratings?
We got more Humper chats to get into. Let's see, from Tony, he says she is entitled, she being Gail, I'm assuming, she is entitled to her opinion. However, her tweeting through things has just made her look mean-spirited, highly ill-informed, bordering on not caring even when she is factually corrected or poorly trying to explain herself. The thing about Gail that I've noticed for a long time is that she's very outspoken, no matter what, and she is very sassy with her.
Sorry.
She's very sassy with her opinions. So I expected that. There are certain things there that I'm just like, you have to do all that. That's kind of weird. But like the hood side thing, that's when I was officially like, yeah, let's wrap this up, guys.
Let's wrap it up. It's done. We're done here.
It's enough. And just even her saying like, yeah, well, I'm just saying something I heard from Moose.
Oh. I don't want that. No, keep that. Go on and keep that.
People are pointing to this Ruckus tweet and then the BJ report about Gail, and they're trying to turn it into, oh, well, she's only saying these things because she wanted a job. I don't know that to be true. But what I do know to be true, based on years of watching this woman criticize wrestling and criticize other people's use of women's wrestling, I've never seen her only criticize something based on her personal gain from it.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, maybe that's part of this. I don't know. But I do think that it's a bit much to jump to that conclusion. I don't know enough about it to say that. And as I say all the time, guys, you don't know this woman, man. You don't know why she's saying that.
I feel like she used to judge TNA segments, and if the women's division wasn't doing good, even when she worked there, she would talk about it. You know what I mean? Like she was always that type of like, I'm gonna talk about wrestling, women's wrestling specifically in this way, no matter what. You know,
I've been in a room with her talking about women's wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in a room with her talking about women's wrestling while she was still working at TNA, and not just about TNA, but just like across the board. So I don't think this is just her. Like, I want a job there, so I'm gonna just all of a sudden have these takes about Riho.
Right.
Like I said, I think it's an ill-informed take. I think that she could have just let it go, but that's not really how she rolls. So it is what it is. But yeah, I also think that the way it came off to me, and I could be wrong, this came off as somebody that has a very specific opinion about AEW's usage of women, and they never really gave it another chance after that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it screams that when she said, I've only watched one Rio match. I think this is just like, hey, this is what I think of their use of women over there. And she didn't even get into detail about what she thinks about the women's division. But this just screams, hey, I already disagree with the way they use their women over there based on my experience with it. And so this is where I stand on it. And AEW fans jumping on me about that just shows me that how y'all treat women. And I don't think that that's necessarily fair. But again, this is what happens on Twitter. It turns into this thing where I will always say Ta-Nehisi Coates was absolutely right about Twitter. Twitter incentivizes two things: arguing and instant reactions to things. And when you're constantly on your back foot, constantly reacting, there is no real conversation being had.
Everybody want to be first, Phil. People want to be first so bad, getting their little aggregations out, blah blah blah, trying to shine, trying to put the light on. It's a lot, man. It's because people are fighting on both sides, like we're talking about. Like Gail's constantly fighting, but then there's a whole other side that are Team AEW Army that are fighting every day too. That also need to chill, because that's also not good for your mentals. Fighting with people on the internet all the time.
Yeah, I think everybody could just move on, but that's not what the internet does. That's not what wrestling fans do. So,
absolutely not.
This is going to be a thing later where people are going to continue to act like, oh, well, she just hates Rio or she just hates AEW, which isn't what she said, but Purple Monkey Dishwater at this point. That's where we are.
The internet sucks. That's it. That's all.
Yeah, you can't win. That's the thing. When it looks like you're gotten to, and when you're once you're in defense mode, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
And even if you're firing, even if she was firing off on the other side, getting points off, she still ain't winning. You just don't win.
No, because even when she responded to the report and she clarified and said, well, Sanjay had reached out to her about wrestling for AEW. She did an interview and she just clarified that point. People are like, will you please shut up? It's like, well, does she not have the right to respond to someone reporting something about her that in her mind is inaccurate?
Here we go with this integrity thing again.
She can't say anything if in her mind somebody's reporting something about her that's not true. She can't respond.
She got to leave it alone. You're still talking about this? Yes, she's still talking about this. They're talking about her.
You're reporting something about me.
But wrap it up, everybody. Wrap it up. Wrap it up, B.
Yeah, that's also something I've come to understand about the internet and social media in general. You kind of at some point have to be okay with the fact that people are going to say things about you that are not true.
Yeah.
You can't respond to everything said about you because you're going to be responding all day and all night.
And people have just made up their own narratives, Phil. Like they think we are some certain people all the time. They be saying, this is what you do, and we don't be doing that.
I thought one narrative in particular where, again, people say all of these things about somebody when they feel like a point lands in their category. But when all these other things happen that disprove their point, they never come back and say, hey, wait a minute, maybe I was wrong. Because I did think it was very funny. The two things happened this week. That Swerve posted that picture with Timbaland, and then he posted the picture. Well, he posted happy for Javon Evans. I was like, well, wait a minute. I thought he don't have to do that. I thought he don't support others, black wrestlers.
Nope. Because it's not out loud. It's got to be in front of the scene. It's got to be on camera to be a thing.
But again, people get caught in, I'm right. I'm never going to come back and apologize or run this back. That's not what the internet is for.
No.
You can't come back and be like, you know what, my bad.
Well, because they just turned it into, well, now he's pandering or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it can never just be a thing. It always has to be, I'm still getting my point off because we're on this side.
Yeah, no. I'm right. And I'm going to argue to the death. Yeah. Which, it's okay. It's okay to not do that. It's fine. More from Tony P. He says, now will this ruin her image / career like a soon-to-be former TNA knockout has done for allegedly abusing her fiance? No, but has it made some fans and possibly many current wrestlers look at her differently? Hope someone talks some sense into her. I actually don't think that it will have that big of an impact on her, because this is all on the internet. This is all with specific fans. And the funny thing about this is, it's just so funny that we've watched the tables turn on this, because we watched CM Punk be a guy that is very anti-WWE in the back over there, and the anti-AEW crowd now doesn't like him. And now we've watched with Gail Kim, somebody who criticized the company for years, now is on this other side as well. That's why I'm like, this just shows you how quickly things can change. It's just, this is internet discourse. I don't think that affects her legacy.
Because when she left TNA, Phil, you know how many people I saw saying AEW needs to pick up Gail Kim? A lot of them. A
lot of people were like, they should hire her. And now people are like, oh, I'm glad they didn't hire her. I'm like, well, it's not like they couldn't still use her expertise, whether you agree with her online or not. I mean, I don't know, but that's up to people that work there to decide. I think people had to stop doing that as well. This person doesn't belong in this company. Who are you to say that?
Yeah, you can't do that. I hate when people say that. Because off of their personal thing, they don't know nothing about. They're just a fan at home. Why would they ever bring in blah, blah, blah? Like, what do you know about blah, blah, blah? You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm glad that she's not over there. A person that does not work in wrestling, that does not know nearly as much about wrestling as she does. I don't think this is going to affect her. I think some people that were fans of her that have chosen to pick a side and have decided, oh, well, she's anti-Riho. Yeah, they'll think what they want, but Gail Kim is still Gail Kim. And
the people that were like, that flipped were already on that side anyways. Those are the looking for an excuse to hate you already anyways.
Yeah. I thought it was funny as well. People trying to get into, well, she just wants a Chris Van Vliet interview. She just wants a Helwani interview. And it's just like, and then she at one point was like, yeah, I would love to have that interview. It's just like, well, what's wrong with her wanting to do an interview? I'm confused.
What is that thing that people try to do? Well, you just want to work for AEW. Well, he just wants an ice cream sandwich. Well, he just wants to shut up.
Yeah, I don't know. Or people being like, she just wants a job. I'm like, maybe she does. I don't know.
What if she do?
I just don't.
What if she do?
I just don't think a lot of this stuff matters in the grand scheme of things, man. I think people get very worked up about things that don't matter, man.
If you spend your week mad at Gail Kim, you gotta figure something else out to be mad about.
Again, that's what was so funny, and I don't want to harp on this. I want to move on. But I think it's so funny that people are like, she's still going. But it's like, why are you still getting engaging? Like, why are you still getting worked up about this?
What a wild time. Let's figure out something new for the week, you guys. Who can we be mad at this week?
Wild, bro. Tony P also says, now match of the week was Saya versus Asumi. Not bad leadership by a guy that was in college wrestling fan club. The move turned Saya heel paid off big time. She had an aura before, but now it's just overflows. With Rossi gone, Azumi seems to have her confidence now. Yeah, man, excellent match. If you have not seen it, again, it is free 99 on Stardom's YouTube channel. Saya has had a great year, had that phenomenal match with Tam. I think that was in March. She's had great matches throughout this year. In a conversation for Women's Wrestler of the Year. In a conversation I've seen for Tokyo Sports MVP, which they don't hand those out to women. So that would be awesome if she did win that. But yeah, this match was really good. The whole storytelling around it is Azumi is trying to make her case of, I want to be number one. You're in a big spot. I want to be the one that beats you. Even after the match, she was just like, hey, I'm not going to stop coming for you. I want your spot. I want to be number one. I want to get all of the accolades you're getting. And there isn't an easier story in wrestling to tell than I want to be the best. And I want to beat you because you're considered the best right now.
When people can't get that element of like, that person has all the accolades and what I want, so if I beat them, I'm better than them. It's an easy way to tell a story. Love that Stardom has been doing this YouTube free show thing the last couple of months. I don't know what's inspired it, but I think it's gained a lot of fanfare around these parts.
I think it's great. Just the aspect of like all of the Queen's Quest lore around this. Of course, both Suzumi and Saya were members of Queen's Quest. Another well-known member of Queen's Quest, leader of Queen's Quest, Io Sky, has a big match coming up as well against Mayu Watani at the Marigold show coming up. That's awesome. It kind of feels like this was it feels like this was part of the bargaining chip for Rossi at one point, because he's gonna get these Io matches off.
That's a fact. He said, at least you got to give me a couple of them EOs. I'll be good. We good. I got you.
Yeah. But that was awesome. Again, awesome to see a lot of people giving Saya the credit she deserves. Also on this card, there's a tag match where Suri went head to head with Shuri again. Seems like we are definitely getting a rematch between them for the IWGP Women's Championship at some point. Nice. But Suri said, nah, I'll make time to wrestle you later. There's somebody overseas that I want to wrestle. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Who that?
If you know, you know. This the IWGP Women's Championship was initially established as this way to broaden New Japan's audience and to allow the Joshi wrestlers to wrestle stateside. But then they just established the New Japan Strong Women's Championship that fits the same criteria, so it doesn't really serve that same purpose. I like that Suri is still trying to use that belt for that way and trying to get a big match in the US, and I was just like, Athena makes a lot of sense straight out the gate. I was like, that's definitely a match I want to see. But I do think there's something to Tony not being champion anymore. And now you put her in spots where she can lose some of these matches to Joshi wrestlers. And I do think we'll see more of Tony versus Stardom wrestlers. Could also be talking about Mercedes. I don't know.
Always. Yeah, I like Tony in this. The stakes are a little bit lower, but they're still high because of who she represents in the company, you know?
Yeah. Saya also, after winning the match, because it was a winner-take-all match, she is now the current New Japan Strong Women's Champion, as well as World of Stardom Champion. And her entire mission statement has been, I want to go to the Tokyo Dome. I want to wrestle at the Tokyo Dome. And with that belt around her waist, seems like there's a very good chance that could happen. I don't know what is the match for Wrestle Dream. I have to assume it might be either Sari or Saya, which sign me up for either of those. But it also makes me wonder, are we getting Wrestle Dynasty again during Wrestle Kingdom weekend?
Oh, they haven't announced anything at the moment yet. I think it felt pretty successful this year. I hope they do run it back at least.
Me too. Got more from Tony. He says, I think Okada letting the ladies work outside of Stardom to build relationships fast-tracked the rebuild and boost a lot of the women's confidence in general. Yeah, of course he's talking about Okada, the president, not Okada, the wrestler.
People were probably very confused for a second there.
Yes. More from Tony P. He says, also with them knowing Mayu, Tex, and Mina wasn't staying long. Micah, Ami, Shuri getting injured. The others all had to step up. On the other hand, Rossi doing his thing and possibly losing Mirai. If it isn't a storyline, because she wants the freedom too. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there with Mirai. Very talented wrestler. Would love to see her in the US. Would love to see her in other places. So I don't know.
Rossi need to lock him down.
Rossi's got 2 or 3 wrestlers over there that I'm just like, these are like some of the best wrestlers anywhere. Like Utami is still top on the list of one of the best wrestlers out there.
Dog, yes.
Yeah. So let's see, we got more from Tony P. Says, as for Western fans, Raw was fun, better than it's been in a long time, but still a seashell. LOL. The 6-man in the main event were the highlights. Can't wait for Io versus Asuka. WWE found their new superhero and Javon. That match was great. Yeah, I thought Raw was pretty good this week. It has been pretty passable for the last few weeks. SmackDown is still SmackDown. I think it's the worst of the WWE shows. I did like
that was the other discourse. I was like, there's another huge discourse this week that was annoying. It's fucking Nia Jax discourse.
Yeah, the Nia Jax discourse was
Jesus.
It was a lot. I think people again jumping to conclusions and making up their theories about things with no evidence, because that's what fans do. I don't know.
The worst is what they think is evidence. Phil, like, look at this clip right here. I'm like, could you stop?
Yeah. Man, Jade Cargill is a trooper.
Yes.
Thick, gnarly cut.
Thick cut. Oh my God.
When I saw it, I was like, ooh, that looks really bad. I saw it immediately. I was like, ooh, that looks bad. And once she, because if you haven't seen it, Nia hurled Jade into the steps, and as soon as it happened, I was like, ooh, that looks bad. And then when she backed up and I saw the blood trickling, I was like, ooh, no, that looks really, really bad.
Yeah. People are trying to turn it into Nia Jax being dangerous, Jade Cargill, blah, blah, blah. It's just too much dumb. Too much dumb discourse around it. I don't like it.
Yeah, and then the finish also, people.
Oh, the finish.
Yeah, there was clearly something that happened there, some miscommunication. I know I looked to me, but at the same time, I'm not a wrestler.
I saw something on Reddit, maybe. Jade Cargill liked a tweet that said they've been doing this spot at the house shows where Tiffany was supposed to swoop in at the last second, knock her out, and then get the pin, but there was some miscommunication there, I guess, or something.
I don't think Nia was supposed to kick out.
She wasn't.
I think that Tiffany was supposed to break up the pin, and then that was going to set up Tiffany getting the win off of that.
Right.
But
my least favorite fucking triple threat spot where they fucking knock the person out and then they get the win. Yeah.
There's clearly something there, but people are turning it into, oh, well, this person can't work and this person can't work. And it's like, okay, guys, we don't have to, or it was this person's fault. And again, people with picking sides, it's like, you don't have to do that.
That's all it is. Everybody just picking sides, placing blame. Like, I hate to be that. You've never been in a fucking ring, but when people turn into those fucking, you don't know how to work, blah, blah, blah spots, you've been injuring people talk. I'm like, yo, you don't even know what you're saying. Stop saying these words.
Yeah, I saw people calling it a botch, and it's like, that's not what a botch is. And
no,
I don't. just don't know.
Because in reality, this is why wrestling fans botch is so stupid. In reality, that's the desired result. So why would that be a botch? She slammed her head against the stairs. I think she would want her to be busted open. So you know what I mean?
Well, people were saying the finish was a botch, and I don't think
So
that
you
was.
can't. No.
I think
that's a deeper story to talk about with how wrestling moves nowadays and rehearsed matches, and I have to do this spot exactly how it was, and we can't go off script, and the ref can't go off script, and we got to do it exactly how we was, and like that's probably a deeper thing to get into, but people don't care about that part either.
Yeah, Daphne took a lot of heat. Daphne was the referee. I think she handled it well. But people were on her neck as well, and it was just kind of like, these things happen. It's wrestling.
People don't understand how much pressure, Phil, being a WWE referee is, dog. There's people in your ear. You have to remember. You have to remember the same spots that the fucking wrestlers are. Remember, you have to be in different positions. You have to remember like it's so much that goes into it. Shout out to her. You got to do what you got to do. WWE's on this don't count to three shoot thing. Everything is so just.
Yeah, I saw the take of the referee is always supposed to treat the 3 count as a shoot, no matter what. And Daphne should have counted to 3 regardless. And we've seen where that's gone wrong. So it's a case by case thing. I don't think you could just say, well, they always should count to 3. That sounds good in theory, but again, we've seen it go awry.
Because my theory has always been, if you're not the finish, fucking kick out. If you're not knocked out, like kick out. But like case by case study, you don't know anything. No, it's crazy.
Yeah. Tony P says, though as great as it is to see Ricky win the NXT title, it really seems like the start was for Evans to beat him to win it. I am worried about the role they envisioned for Javon. Dynamite was in a good to average episode where we finally got the women's tag belts. Yeah, I would be more worried about Javon if they weren't also giving him so much TV time and they weren't giving him so many opportunities.
That's that spot. Sami Zayn had that spot. Like he came in against Cena. Like that's a big deal being in that position. That means something. They can reference this fucking video for the next 10 years, Phil. You know what I mean? Like this represents something being there, and it feels a little bit deeper than what they've been doing. But black singles wrestler on the main roster, Phil.
I understand people being, tentatively excited. I get it. But I do think that they very intentionally went from Sammy thanking John Cena for giving him that opportunity as champion to him giving the exact same opportunity to another NXT wrestler. I thought that was very intentionally done.
Right. Whose ceiling is higher on the main roster, Javon or Oba?
Oba.
Yeah.
I think Oba, it's less understandable if they don't get this right with Oba because they've got something. They've got something really special in him. And I think that they have all of the incentive to get this right. He's really, when you think about it, probably the most successful NIL recruit. If they want like a big success story coming out of that, and they don't have a lot of them, it kind of it incentivizes them getting this right.
At least we got one success. At least
and we see how they push other like homegrowns that are like very distinct to their product, and that's why I could see them getting this right. But again, I understand people being cautious.
Like we've seen it before. We've seen things. MVP won't stop talking about it. I love it. MVP is on Hunter Hearst Helmsley's neck, and I hope he continues to stay on it. It's great. It's amazing. But yeah, I think even the way that they presented Oba, the feats that they've had him do, and how protected that he's been, I feel like he probably will have the higher ceiling. But this is the test, Phil. I feel like with these two guys, like if they don't do it with these two, because Javon is fucking young, dude. He has like 20 plus years to go. He's tall too. Like he's not a small guy. Like he represents something then like Melo. I love Melo so much, but they're never gonna get over it. I hope they do, but they're never gonna fucking get over it. Javon represents something different. Like if they don't get it with these two guys, we're done.
We got developments with Melo this week as well. He allowed Miz to be pinned. They're very much setting up the breakup angle between them, which great. But hopefully we've got a plan moving forward with this. I think one of the best things that came out of SmackDown, because people have been asking, where's Jacob? And I do think that they could have handled his U.S. title run better. But I'm very glad that they're putting him in there with a guy that is considered a main eventer in Drew. He needed a big feud like this. I think Drew needed something like this as well. And more importantly, Jacob needed to work people outside of the bloodline storyline. He needs he needs to get in there and start having the big matches, because we've seen him do all the stare downs. People are excited about the big matches. You got to get to it at this point.
I was getting kind of worried there because I was reading a couple social media Reddit threads on people being like, where's Jacob? And like the language around it was not good. And people being like, oh, they kind of floundered his momentum, blah, blah, blah. And there was some talks around him that I was like, it wasn't good because of WrestleMania time. And a few months ago, like shit was hot for Jacob. Like he was like one of the guys people were talking about being next up. And so it's good that they kind of shot him right back immediately into something that's worth something. Drew, too, he's been kind of, if he's not involved in the world title or CM Punk, they're just like, what do we do with Drew? And it's like, figure out something to do with Drew.
Yeah. So I think he needed this. I think they both needed this. I think it's a great sign that they brought him back and immediately put him in there with somebody of the caliber of Drew. And then you saw all of the stuff in Vegas this week. He was a part of a lot of stuff with the Oakland Raiders. He was at the facility. He did a lot of like the press and photo opportunities for
real Raider fan. Nobody's surprised.
Yeah, so I thought that was cool. Like having him out there as like part of the promotion for WrestleMania coming back to Vegas and Oakland Raiders thing. That shows that they do see this guy as like a big star in the making.
Yeah, good for Jacob. Especially like it's West Coast and all that. Like it means something.
Yeah. Got some more Humper chats. I'll get into those in a few. But before I do that, I just want to run through this New Japan card from Sunday, Saturday, all these days meshed together. I don't know.
Mixed together. Saturday night, Saturday morning, Sunday morning.
Yeah. I watched it. I watched it yesterday, but I think I watched it on delay. I didn't watch it live. So, but yeah, New Japan Destruction came to us from Kobe. I don't know if you saw, by the way, another person was in Kobe, had an incident in Kobe. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, that clip of Neo performing over there in Kobe, and somebody tried to run on stage on him, and for a brief second he was like, and then he just like completely bumped him out of there. Hilarious.
That Neo grabbed the back of homie's head and tried to shove him like this was the Royal Rumble. Killed, and then he got immediately back into the dance steps. Phil, like soon as his hand came back, he was already back into another move.
Seamless, bro. That was hilarious. Hilarious clip if you have not seen it.
Oh shit!
But I digress. New Japan Destruction coming to you from the Kobe World Memorial Hall. Really great show. I thought that New Japan needed a show like this. Off the top of my head, there was only one New Japan pay-per-view this year that I really didn't like. For a lot of the conversations around this company and how poorly it's doing this year, there's only one show that I was just like, what are they doing here? I think for the most part, the shows have been really good. And this was more of that.
I feel like even on that show, because you reference that show pretty often, which means like that means something, like it really stuck out. And even on the show, there was only a few matches that fucked you up. Like it wasn't even like the full show was that bad, you know?
It was mostly booking that was just kind of like, why did they do that? And that was kind of the same thing with the G1, where although I enjoyed the G1 overall, there were just some choices where I was like, but why'd you do that?
Yeah.
But he started with the 10-man tag match. Shota, Yuya Uemura, Yoshihashi, El Desperado, and Yo took on House of Torture. Babyfaces picked up the win. Then we got Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Great Khan. Hiroshi Tanahashi, this is, I believe, his last appearance in Kobe, which he's only got about 3 more months left, guys, and he is going to retire from wrestling. But I love the story here that Great Khan is just kind of like, I'm not gonna give it up to these guys. This guy, like y'all, the rest of y'all, even when he's coming down for his entrance, Great Khan is just still standing in the middle of the ring, not giving him his space to come in and like do all his poses and stuff. He's just like, I don't care about this guy. Then the match starts and he's targeting his knee, trying to wrestle him down to the mat, mocking him, doing the sling blade and stuff on him. But Tanahashi picked up the win here with a victory roll. I thought it was a good match. Quick, about 8-minute match. But it did what it needs to do.
Yeah, I mean, still, it's only 3 months left, Phil, but all of his appearances feel special. It feels like something, but it's just so sad that like in 3 months it's over, dude.
Yeah.
No more Tanahashi. He's such an inaugural part of this company. Like, how does this company run without him, man?
Yeah. It's still don't know how to process it, but yeah, you know, everybody
Cena being the same year is still so funny because their careers been compared for so long.
Yeah, one is having the better farewell tour, which
so.
I wouldn't have guessed, considering the way that Tanahashi was wrestling last year, the way that people were talking about Tanahashi at one point. Yeah, he's definitely still moving a lot slower than we know him of. Those knees are still hurting him and hampering him. But I think for the most part, he's wrestled very well throughout this farewell tour.
Yeah, he's figured it out.
Yeah. We have Boltin Oleg here, took on Don Fale, which I don't know why we're doing that, but very quick match. Boltin Oleg picked up the win here. Successful defense of the Never Openweight Championship. We got some House of Torture shenanigans here. And very much seems like Evil is going to be Oleg's next opponent.
Cool.
Again, I don't know that I'm very excited about that, but that's where we are.
Do you think Evil's gonna get to the fucking main event of Wrestle Kingdom?
No. I think this is setting up for him to either win the Never Openweight Championship or challenge for another, or be in some kind of mid-card match. But yeah, I forgot to mention after Tanahashi's match, they're heavily hinting that his next match is going to be with LP. I believe they have announced the match for King of Pro Wrestling, October 13th. Shaping up to be a pretty big card so far.
Big deal.
I think that's been announced for the television championship.
Next week is coming up.
I thought for a lot of the stuff coming into this show about the Knockout Brothers, Oscar and Yuto Ice, they had a great showing here after their excursion. I thought that their return to the company was really cool. I love them being a part of War Dogs, and the tag division, the heavyweight tag division, needed a shakeup. They needed somebody to build this division around. And I thought that this was a really good sign. This match was really, really good. Probably one of the best IWGP heavyweight tag matches I've seen in quite a while, which immediately gets me excited about where we're going. Taichi, man. Taichi's one of those guys, bro. You gotta give him his credit, man. I mean, Ishii, we know what Ishii is gonna go in there and do, but at one point, people weren't giving it up to Taichi like they should have. But Knockout Brothers versus Taichi and Ishii was very good. The Knockout Brothers are the new champions. I think that was the right move going forward, especially if you're going to push these guys as the fixture of the division. After the match, Yuya Uemura and Shota Umino came down to stake their claim as the next challengers. I still don't know how I feel about putting Shota with Yuya Uemura, but I also understand the move here. This definitely feels similar to what they're doing with Charlotte. Put him with a guy that people are very much liking right now, and you know, try to cover for the fact that he's a very polarizing guy with the fan base.
Yeah, exactly. If you just getting all this great fanfare and all this, he could kind of not ride the coattails, but if he stands next to him, his stuff doesn't seem as crazy. I'm with it.
Yes, but very good tag match.
Bomba Clot. Shout out to the Knockout Boys.
Bomba Clot, bro. When Chris Carlton said that during the match, I was like, bro.
Oh man, shout out to the Knockout Boys, one of them straps. But yeah, they do bring a much needed energy shift to that men's heavyweight tag division.
Yeah. Hiromu Takahashi defended the GHC Junior Heavyweight Championship against Taiji Ishimori. If you know these two guys, they have history together. They've had multiple great matches. This was pretty much a sprint. I don't think it went more than 13 minutes. But it was exactly what it needed to be. Fun match between these guys. Takahashi picked up the win here. I believe somebody from Noah that I'm forgetting came out afterwards to trying to remember. Oh, it was Ada. Ada came out afterwards to confront Takahashi, attacked him to set up a match moving forward.
Could they potentially announce that for the 13th also?
Yeah, it may end up on King of Pro Wrestling as well. Could end up on a Noah card. So we'll see.
Dope.
Also, Kaito Miyamori came out there. Kaito Kiyomori. Kaito came out there and laid his claim out there as well. We haven't seen him in New Japan in a while. Seems like he's going to get a big match with Tanahashi coming up as well. I think that's a good spot for Kaito. I really like on the way out that Tanahashi has been giving wins to a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
And I think
young guys, Doug, it's not just like it's kind of spreading the wealth, honestly.
And even if he does pick up the win, he has been, giving these guys a good run. So hopefully it's a good match.
It feels like just having the match almost means like in the loss, it's like having the match is almost important as getting the win,
Yeah. Kaito, of course, is very famous for that clip of him and Okada. Yes. I know a lot of people were very upset that Okada didn't put the kid over on the way out. He's one of the people that I think people expected Okada to, give the rub, and it didn't happen. So it is a little bit ironic that he's getting a Tanahashi match during the farewell tour.
I knew he wasn't getting the rub. As soon as he kicked Okada in the mouth and Okada got up, I was like, oh, nah. Okada don't care about none of that. When Okada started, he didn't care about wrestling, the character, or nothing, and just started fighting. I was like, oh, yeah, it's over for him.
Yeah. Got Yota Tsuji taking on David Finlay. Of course, they wrestled multiple times as well. They have history together. This was a fun match. Yota Tsuji picked up the win. Needed a big win coming out of the G1.
Definitely.
I still assume that he's going to be in a big spot going into Wrestle Kingdom. He staked his claim that he wants to be a double champion, which will play out into something later in the night. But David Finlay is in such an interesting position. He's having great matches, but he's kind of losing. He's losing the big matches, and I'm assuming that's going to set up something with him and Gabe Kidd, because Gabe Kidd is in the opposite position. He's getting the big matches, and he's excelling. He's winning.
And they've been saying for a long time who should be replacing who or who should be doing what, and this feels like it.
Yeah. Speaking of Gabe Kidd, he took on Shingo Takagi in the semi-main event for the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. There's been a lot of conversations about Gabe Kidd since the G1. He unfortunately was injured, so he had to withdraw from the tournament. But then he came to the U.S., took part in some Death Rider storylines, took part in the big cage match at AEW Forbidden Door.
Yep.
And people were not happy. The fan base wasn't happy because they were like, wait a minute, what happened to, waving the flag for New Japan? What happened to Shinny Home Pro Wrestling? What happened to all of that? And the wrestlers on the same token were like, wait a minute, I thought you were hurt. What are you doing over there? Why are you not over here promoting our show? Why are you not over here defending your belt? So I love the setup to that with him and Shingo, because Shingo very much came for his neck after the G1. Like, yeah, I see this guy over there, but what's he doing? Why is he not over here?
Right. You didn't do the G1, but then you did a big cage match? Like, that doesn't even make sense. We all thought you were hurt. You sacrificed, blah, blah, blah. And you've been talking all this shit about AEW, and that's where you're at. So he's been kind of getting it from both sides, but that's kind of fueling his anger a little bit.
Yes. This was the third of the War Dog guys going against what used to be the LIJ guys, now unaffiliated guys. Gabe Kidd came out, fired up straight away, came down. He did his little crawl down the ramp. Then he went out into the crowd like, nah, I still love this place. Don't get this mistaken. I went over there to make some bread, but I'm right back where I belong. It's still New Japan. He was walking around through the crowd, trying to get the crowd hyped up. Then he got back into the ring before the bell could ring and started attacking Shingo. They fought out to the outside, did some table spots and some other cool stuff. This match was really good. I think for some of the criticism of Gabe Kidd, I think he still had an incredible year. He still had some great matches. I hate that he wasn't able to compete in the G1 because I wanted to see how he would fare this year with the year he was having. Yeah. I think if he had not gotten injured, he probably would have made it far into the tournament.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that the time that it happened, because he was set up to have a big G1, and it would have, I don't know, added a little extra something to the momentum and stuff that he had coming into this year. Phil felt like it was all his. I mean, he's still in a really good position, and I think that the next Dome, he's going to have a good match, but it felt like just an unfortunate timing of the G1.
Yeah. But yeah, good match. Shingo Takagi is still phenomenal.
He can always do it.
Very underrated wrestler. Still hits people very hard. I love that at every turn, Shingo kept trying to hit him with these big strikes, and Gabe would not back down, going back and forth with him in strike exchange, headbutting each other. Of course, Gabe Kidd picked up the win. Successful defense of the IWGP Global Heavyweight title. Shingo showed him some respect on the way out, but as he was doing so, you can see in the distance that Yota Tsuji was coming down the ramp. These guys have quite a history together. It's probably Gabe's most notable rivals this year. They had the match earlier this year, which ended in a double knockout. Then we had the match after that, which led to Gabe Kidd winning the IWGP Global title. So this sets up a rematch. Both of these guys want the same thing. When we spoke to Gabe Kidd, he very much said he wants to be double champion. He wants to hold both belts. And
he don't like this fool at all.
Yeah, Tsuji made the point that we both want the same thing. We both want to go to the Dome with this belt and set our sights on the main title. So I thought this made sense. I'm a little bit concerned about what this means for Tsuji, because I thought Tsuji had a great match on the show. I love that he's starting to doing the Guerrero special now. He used it in the G1. He used it again in his match with Finlay to set up the Gene Blaster. But I'm concerned because where do you go with him here? Like, if he loses this match, is he still in the running to be like a number one contender?
Because you talked before about him potentially getting to the Dome against Takeshita.
Yes. And the last person that we saw hold a white belt and unify those belts, that didn't fare well booking wise for both of those belts and the person in general. If you don't know, that is Kota Ibushi. Of course, he held both of those belts, and then he merged it into this iteration of the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. And that reign didn't go very well.
No.
I don't know that you need to. I mean, look, I get the motive for both of these guys to be double champion, especially Tsuji, because the guy that he used to follow, his mentor in Naito, that's something he did. Right. I love the idea that he would be a guy that wants to follow in his footsteps and wear the white belt, but also eventually go to the Dome and hold both belts. I don't know that you need to commingle both of these belts, though. I'm not sure about the idea behind that, but I do think this match is going to hit because these two guys have great matches together. I just don't know what this means for Tsuji going into Wrestle Kingdom season. I want to believe that the results of Takeshita challenging the winner of the main event will lead to something with Tsuji, because I think the Tsuji is going to challenge the winner at Wrestle Kingdom. But I don't know that you need to involve the global title.
Right. No, that's going to kind of muddy up the championships thing. And it's just like some other wrestlers could be challenging for the belts. I hate when we always get into the double champion thing, and then that always leads to the awkward, what do you do with one of the belts? Do you pin them? Do you have blah, blah, blah? And it just sucks to kind of get to that point. But I am interested in seeing Tsuji in a big dome match. I mean, Gabe Kidd also could potentially get the dome match against Takeshita, you think?
I think the great thing about this is both of these two have grievances with Takeshita.
They do.
Given the way that Tsuji was taken out of the G1 in his match against Evil, he has every right to feel like, hey, if things went differently, I would have went to the finals and I could be this year's G1 Climax winner.
Right.
And I feel like my opportunity to face Takeshita was stolen from me.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, Gabe Kidd has been telling us for the longest, hey, I don't like that guy. I don't like that this guy thinks he can just come over here and wrestle big shows. I don't like that this DDT young boy thinks he can come over here and be New Japan wrestler. That's my spot. And he injured him also because that was his first round match in the G1. And he took away his chance to compete in the G1 Climax this year, which gives him even more reason to hate Takeshita. So it is good setup for both of these guys potentially going into Wrestle Kingdom with the global title and having grievances against Takeshita. Again, I don't know that you should intermingle those belts, though.
That's the only thing. Yeah.
But main event, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ren Narita. Great story here that Ren Narita has been positioned as a guy that we should all keep an eye on. He was named as one of the Three Musketeers, and he had like all of these things given to him. He was seen as the heir to Shibataism, and then he joined House of Torture. And you know, in some ways, that scene is taking the easy way out. This guy was heralded as this great wrestler, great technical wrestler, and you're winning your matches with this push-up bar and using all these shenanigans and it's not just the wrestlers see it this way. The fans looking at it like, well, why are you over there? As somebody that has been earmarked as a guy we should care about, why are you in this group that cheats?
Doing shenanigans.
So that's basically the story. And then on Zach's side, Zach has been a guy that has been kind of looked over because in his mind, it's just like, well, wait a minute. I've been wrestling here longer than this guy. I also was handpicked by Suzuki.
Yep.
You're going to immediately say that these three guys are the future of the company. Hey, that's great. You can say those guys are the future. I am the now of this company. None of those guys can lace my boots. I am the best technical wrestler in the world. But at the same time, Ren Narita holds 2 wins over him. And so he very much has this chip on his shoulder. Like, that guy may have beat me twice, but he's not a better technical wrestler than me. And I hate the idea that this guy has been given all of these things that I would like to be given, but he hasn't accomplished any of what I've been given. For all of the things that you've said about this guy, for all of the stuff you're saying that he should be one of the next up and comer, this was my year. Last year was my year. When y'all were saying these guys are the future of the company, you said coming into Wrestle Kingdom, Shota was a guy to look out to. I beat Shota.
Yep.
Y'all still, all of these guys that you're talking about, they still got to get past me. I'm still the guy here. Don't look past me.
They keep talking about potential with all the other guys, and Zack Saber's like, my potential's been met already. I'm doing this.
Yeah. Talking very spicy about Ren in the press conference leading into this match, where he's just like, well, let's just look at the last 2 years. I joined TMDK, went on to win the G1 Climax, went to the Tokyo Dome, successfully defended my title back-to-back nights, came back, won this belt again, 2-time IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. You've been in House of Torture for 2 years, and you've done absolutely fuck all. has a point. Has a point. But people are still talking about you because you beat me twice. Like, we should pay attention to you. No. You still got to beat me. And so, coming into the main event, that was a story. Early on, no shenanigans. This is just Ren Narita wrestling like we think he should. Technical wrestler. Targeting Zack Saber's ankle and knee. And man, we don't see this guy get outworked on the mat very often. But Ren was going for it. He was targeting that knee and ankle a lot during this match. On the outside of the ring, he had him up against the post, targeting it, putting it in a figure four. Looked like this guy was in distress. If you know anything about Zack Sabre Jr., and this is why Chris Carlton is great on commentary, he pointed out during this match that Zack sees rope breaks as a weakness because I'm the best at this. I'm the best at this style of wrestling. Nobody is going to outwork me on the mat. So there were several points in this match where he just would not humble himself to grab the rope because he's just like, nope, I can get out of this hole.
Counter.
And Ren had this guy wrapped up, and he is in agony at some points. And there's a great point in the match where Zack has to go for the rope break, and he just has no choice. And after he's forced to break the hold, Zack is like beating his head, and he's like, nope, because you can see it in his face. He's like, I'm better than this. I'm better than this guy. And so that plays into the rest of this match. Zack's tied this guy up in this like Venus flytrap at one point. That was just like, that looks very painful. Like, the holds in this match were incredible. This isn't going to be for some people that aren't the biggest fans of like technical wrestling, but very technical wrestling style match. We did get some House of Torture shenanigans, but it wasn't as bad as some of the other stuff. Of course, Yujiro got in the mix at one point. They tried to interfere, but Zack picked up the win here with this. He goes for the double arm bar, like the Venus de Milo, and while he's got that cinched in, he also starts wrenching his neck at the same time. It's just like, yeah, just give up, Ren. Just give up. So he gives up. Zack Sabre is your winner here. Retains the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Afterwards, he cuts his promo where he's just like, hey, well, this is usually where the challenger comes down, right? Oh, Takeshita's not here. Well, let me talk to Takeshita for a second. Yeah, I know, have fun in America. You think you're going to come back here and win this belt and go to the Dome. No, you still got to beat me. I'm going to the Dome for the second year in a row, and I am going to successfully defend this belt again. There's nothing better than Zack in this mode where he's talking his talk. He's wrestling really, really great.
Yep.
I do think that Zack is going to lose, though.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. I'm like, because he's been destroying matches that, like, seeing Ren, it gets unfortunate. You get mad because you're like, why are you hiding again? Like you're saying, behind this house of torture shit. When you start grappling and show that flash of why people talk about you like that, you're like, damn, we could be having these matches all the time. Instead, we got to have these shenanigan-based matches. And I think Zack has a valid point, because anytime there's a wrestler like Takeshita, somebody from a different company, somebody that's not on the ground floor doing this every night, that's frustrating. And there are a bunch of people that are saying this to Zack himself. I'm sure probably Takesha's going to come and beat you for that championship. He hasn't been here all year working like you have. What does that mean for you? You know what I mean? And Zack wants to go and headline the Dome again, because what's it for him if he loses his championship?
Yeah, I think he has very valid points in the sense that he's been killing it. He's been killing it for over a year now. And at every turn, people keep saying, well, this is the guy. He's the next up, or he's the best in the world. These three guys are the three musketeers. This guy that's the AEW wrestler that's coming in, he's one of the best in the world. And he's like, no. I'm the best in the world because I hold this belt.
Right.
He ain't beat me yet. So he's not the best in the world.
Carrying the flag. He's been carrying the flag for New Japan pretty hard.
Yes. Yes. He's not saying that I want to do this for pro wrestling. I want to wrestle at all these other companies. I want to wrestle here. I want to be the guy here. And so sets up a great story. This also mirrors the year that Zack had last year, winning the G1, going to Ryogoku and facing the champion at King of Pro Wrestling. Again, I think Zach's gonna lose.
Damn.
There's just too many things that I don't know. Just based on the storyline that they're setting up with Gabe and Tsuji, that could still work if it's Zach as champion, but it makes too much sense for one of those guys to go into Wrestle Kingdom to challenge Takeshita.
Right. But then, like I said, what happens for Zach at Wrestle Kingdom then?
I don't know, but I do think that Takeshita's going to win. I think that there's too many things around this that make me think Takeshita's going to win. I do think it's good that there is more interest in what this means. I know that there's still the conversation around an outsider winning the G1 and potentially becoming the champion. But I do think, based on something like Chris Carlson was saying as the show is going off the air, that tickets for Wrestle Kingdom are going on sale. And this is one of the fastest selling Wrestle Kingdom in some time. And there's a lot to think about with that, because this is Tanahashi's last Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
You've also got Aaron Wolf coming in. That's going to be his big debut. If you guys don't know, Aaron Wolf is the Olympic gold medalist, the judo practitioner. He's going to make his debut with New Japan. There's a lot of news going around that. They had a press conference for Aaron Wolf earlier this year. And so those are two big stories. But I think if you do this story correctly with Takeshita as champion and setting up a New Japan guy to go in and face him, whether it be Tsuji or Gabe Kidd, I think you've got something there. It's going to be polarizing, of course, but I think if you do the story correctly, if you execute this right, you could have something really cool.
The story would kind of, if explaining it like that, Tsuji would probably fill a better void than Gabe Kidd will, just because of what he represents for New Japan and supposedly being the future of this. Like, I think Tsuji might be able to be the one.
I think it makes a lot of sense for Takeshita to win. And when you also look at where Takeshita is in AEW and what that belt represents to the guy that he has tension with in AEW.
So does he win in the Dome then? We're moving forward, but I get that's the question that immediately springs to my mind. Like, does he go and successfully defend the championship in the Dome then?
I don't know. If it's me, I think it would be a smart move to put the belt on Takeshita, have him maybe do some matches in between Wrestle Kingdom and King of Pro Wrestling, maybe defend it at like an AEW show.
World's End.
Yeah, even if it's a Wrestle Dream, because Wrestle Dream is kind of billed as a New Japan AEW show.
You're right. You are right. When is Wrestle Dream?
October 18th.
Oh, it's after. Okay, yeah.
So I mean, give him some defenses in between there, and I think you've gotta get to it with Tsuji at this point. Tsuji's ready. Yeah,
you're right.
I think a lot of people were ready for Tsuji to get the big win in the G1, and so I don't know. I think you got to get to it with him, and if you're gonna give him that big match on that show, this is the time. This is the time. Tanahashi's leaving, man. All of your big stars are gone. You got to mint one of these young guys as your next up and comer. You got to mint one of those three musketeers as the guy. Ren's not ready yet. Shota's not ready yet. Tsuji is, though. You got to give him the win. And so I think if that's the match going into Wrestle Kingdom, I think Tsuji's got to win.
He does, yeah. Especially coming off the Shota stuff, and people were they felt deflated off of like seeing one of those guys get the opportunity and not really maximizing. And I will think that Tsuji will maximize. Yes.
But yeah, really good show.
Exciting stuff.
Really enjoyed this. We are officially on the road to Wrestle Kingdom. A lot is going to be on the line heading into King of Pro Wrestling. We've already got matches announced. I believe the Tsuji and Gabe Kidd match has also been announced for that show. Shaping up to be a strong show.
Them 3 matches just that are announced are hard already.
Yeah, Leonard, there's no power struggle this year. Zach also mentioned that in his promo.
Mm. Why not?
Yeah, I don't know, but we've got World Tag League coming up.
Yep.
I have to assume that the team of Shota and Yuya will play a part into that. I don't know. They've got to be, at this point, the early favorites to win it.
I would think so. I mean, if they kind of established themselves with them knockout boys, and then it's because New Japan doesn't just reward teams that just got together. You got to work for it, and that seems like the way to work for it.
Yeah, we've got World Tag League coming up. We've got a historic crossover also coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've announced some of the Stardom matches for it, but curious to see how New Japan plays into that.
Huh. They got a pretty this is the busy time of the year coming up right now.
Yeah. I don't have it in front of me, but I think they've announced matches so far for historic crossover.
Oh, nice. Let me pull up the super chat actually while you're looking for it. Leonard Aarons III says Saberism will save New Japan, as you were. Yeah, like Phil has talked about today, Zack Sabre has carried the flag for New Japan. But beyond that, he's gotten all the accolades and he's looked great in all the matches while getting those accolades,
Yeah, he's been on quite a run. I think he deserves it. Has had a hell of a year. We also got, I didn't mention earlier, Goto made his return in the press conference for this weekend show.
Yes.
He let us know the revolution is definitely not over. He will be back. He is cleared to come back to wrestling. Curious to see who he wrestles. I have to assume he's probably going to have a match at King of Pro Wrestling. Mm-hmm. But also, curious, how does he fit into Wrestle Kingdom? I have to assume if Zack is not champion, it makes sense for him to wrestle Goto because Goto he still got grievances with him because Zack is the guy that beat him for the championship and he injured him. Then you had the stuff with him and Yoshihashi and the G1. So maybe that's where the rematch happens.
Okay, I can see that. And there was that weird, they didn't put out the match for weeks or whatever during the when the show happened. So yeah.
Yeah, the match that happened at the Tanahashi run.
Mm-hmm.
Kaito also mentioned Tanahashi run because he was like he appreciated getting the spot on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, based on that match, and if you haven't seen that match, very good match. It's finally on New Japan World. You can watch it. But I have to assume that might be the Wrestle Kingdom match. I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah. It's a good way to get a big spot for both those guys without the belt.
Yeah. I couldn't find anything for historic crossover, guys.
Yeah. They're still working on it. That's all of our super chats for now.
Let's see. We got some Humper chats.
Mm-hmm.
We got some from Tony P. Says, however, the biggest surprise was Saturday when Jamie announced the thing we really been waiting to hear, Women's Blood and Guts, which seems to have been universally praised by normal wrestling fans. Yeah, we got some pretty big news for the AEW women's division coming into this week. I got to give Tony credit that a lot of people were like, what's going on? Like, you got to advance some of these things with the women. It seems like we've been at a standstill with a lot of things for a while. People were very much getting frustrated with Tony's run as champion. People were like, you gotta give somebody else the spot. You got to give somebody else the big win. And he made a big gamble with Chris Statlander, giving her the win. And I think that it paid off. A lot of the day one fans, a lot of people that have been watching her from her onset with AEW were very excited about that.
Right.
You can see a lot of that online. And you can see it with the reaction in the crowd when she won. You can see it in the reaction to her on Dynamite. I thought that she had a good match against Mina in the main event of Dynamite as well.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the execution of the angle with the Death Riders was also good. When she came into the title match at All Out, I was just like, okay, she's not turning, because they gave her new music. It's very upbeat babyface music. She's coming out with purple. I was like, okay, she's not turning.
Yeah.
And so I've been thinking the entire time that this was a red herring, but that confirmed it for me. And so they were trying to play this up in the main event, and I thought it was handled very well. Statlander acts like she could turn on Harley, pushes Yuta out the way, flips those big birds at Mox. I thought that was awesome. Then she runs out through the crowd. That was really cool. Great moment for her. But the bigger moment from Dynamite, we got the announcement that AEW will be finally giving the women tag titles.
Wow.
This is the right time to do it. I think that they've got enough women now. I think the fans have wanted it. There have been multiple women on a roster that have been asking for it for a long time. Anna Jay has been one of the women asking for this for a long time. So I think it's the right time.
Yeah. I think the thing that I like about it the most, Phil, is they've done things to establish teams. They've done things to establish stories about the championships. It's not just like Tony's like, we're going to have women's tag team championships and we're scrambling to figure out who the women's tag teams are. We went over it a few times on our pods about who the teams could be. They have a good field. They could have a nice tournament set up with the teams just kind of announced or being around the last couple of months. So it's like when the tag team championships do come, they can have feuds and other things to add some legacy, bring them to prominence, and it's not just floundering around as championship. I think that's the thing that makes me feel most excited about it. Also, I think there's only so many championship spots that there could be, or top women in the company like Mercedes and Tony and people that represent these spots as single stars. I think having a tag team and tag team championships kind of opens it up for other women like you described of Anna and Ty and Megan and Penelope, or people that have kind of grinded in the company for years and years that deserve something, some kind of other story, something that means more. I think these championships are going to represent that.
Yeah, I think that this and the other announcement is great because it shows that there are more opportunities for the women.
Exactly.
And these are things that AEW fans have been asking for 4 or 5 years at this point. The company is heading into its 6-year anniversary.
Shit.
And I think that it's the right time. And
it is,
like you said, there's enough women now to fill out a tag division. There's a bit of a log jam in the mid card as well. And so I think this gives some of the women something to do. Like you have like Ty and Anna Jay, for example. Like this immediately gives them something.
Sky and Blue and Julie, I think, is going to do so much for them as a tag team.
Yeah, they could use something. This is, like you said, Penelope and Megan Bain. You could add Tony and Mina into the mix. Shuri is back wrestling again. She has been basically saying in so many words, hey, I want to tag with Shida. They famously had a tag team together. I think that's the perfect way to bring Shida back to AEW, is reintroducing them as a tag team.
Remember we talked a little bit last week about where AEW was going to be this week, and if the whole show went by without a certain someone appearing, how crazy it was going to look. I've seen some people off this announcement being like, hey, what if she found a partner? And I'm like, I don't know, man. It's not
looking great. I thought if you were going to bring her back in any way, it would happen in Pittsburgh. Very shocked that it did not happen.
Yeah.
I don't know that I believe she's coming back now. Crazier things have happened, so I don't know. But I don't think it's out of realm of possibility that you could partner her up with someone. There are wrestlers that she has history with. You could put her with Deanna. You could put her with, I don't know. I think Thunder Rose is injured. I think that's why we haven't seen her. But
I think so too.
You could do a how could they coexist team with her and Thunder or someone else.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think the D would happen. But I think the great thing about this is you have somebody like Tony who's not champion now.
Right.
But Tony's
Tony too.
Yeah, Tony's a big star. So no matter what you put her in, people are going to invest in it. And Tony being Tony Khan, clearly likes Tony Storm. And I think that is a good sign where if you put the belts on her and Mina, for example, then you know they're going to be on TV.
Yep.
Because Tony already has vested interest in Tony Storm.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's the right choice. I think some people would be
Tony with another championship is going to turn people off, I think.
I think some people would be very upset if she went from world champion to holding another championship in a short amount of time. Mm-hmm. But I do think that if there's a tournament or something, Tony and Mina will be in the mix. I don't think it's a terrible idea to put the belts on them eventually, but maybe not as the inaugural champions.
Right. Yeah, I think you want to reward like a Ty and Anna or a Sky and Julia in the inaugural first championships moments, but you're definitely going to need like a Tony and Mina run in there to really establish what these championships are. And like you said, they're always on TV. They're always going to represent that. This just opens it up for the division. People have been talking about for years wanting these championships, has faith in the fans. It has faith in all the women involved. That means we can have more women coming in and getting involved because it opens up different avenues in the company. It's just great news all around.
Yeah, but what I was getting at with Tony and having a big star like Tony in the mix is that guarantees that, we'll see the tag titles around. And I think that that's kind of the same reasoning that you could make for putting Britt in the mix. But yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know what to believe at this point. I still think it's wild that we haven't seen Britt Baker on TV.
Like you said, today or the Dynamite in Pittsburgh, that if you don't do it there, where do you do it? Like you have to establish. It has to be a different plan of bringing her back if you're gonna bring her back. Because Pittsburgh, you just bring her back. You don't need to announce or do anything. But now you're gonna have to establish something if that is gonna happen. I just don't know if that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, there are routes you can go with it. But yeah, you got other teams that you can put together. Jamie Hayter, you can team her with somebody. She famously has a tag partner that is not signed anywhere at the moment. You could run back B and Jamie Hayter as a tag team. They work together at Stardom.
They put Marina on TV a lot more. She has a friend that'd like to fight too. No, her friend went back over there, huh? Sorry.
I don't think she's signed though.
Did she?
I think she's doing like some backstage work, but I don't know that she's signed.
Because I don't care about y'all. I fucks with Shayna, and I would not be mad at her teaming up with Marina.
I would be all for it. You've got Beth now. You could team Beth with somebody. I saw Carly Bravo cooking a little bit. Carly said, "Walk with me," and he put the picture out there of Trish with Queen Amanada, and I was like, might be onto something.
Walk with me, walk with me, walk with me. I mean, we've talked about it for a long time. Stat did just win the AEW Women's World Championship, but there's the looming shadow thing of her and Willow that's forever going to be a thing. And at one point, they can definitely be AEW Women's Tag Team Champions.
Yes. I think the ending of Dynamite confirmed for me that we are getting Willow and Stat reunion at some point. I don't know if it'll be in time for them to be the inaugural champions, but I do think it's happening.
Oh, Harley and somebody too. Harley could be somebody's partner.
Yes.
There's a lot of avenues to go.
Mercedes teased that, hey, I like belts. I like tag team wrestling. Athena did the eye emoji when she saw it as well. Poor Billy Starks was like, wait a minute, you're looking for another partner? I'm right here. You're gonna tag with Mercedes? Like, but wait, I'm right here.
Let me just tell you, if Mercedes and Athena become AEW World Women's Tag Team Champions, we're gonna be insufferable on this podcast. I'm just letting y'all know now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that tag team. There's a poll up that Athena put out of like, who would you guys like to see me tag with? I believe Billy's winning it last time I saw. I think she's got the most votes.
I mean, it totally should be Billy, like the Mercedes thing as well. But like, as the tag teams that are established that could go right now, Athena and Billy can go right now.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of directions you can go with this.
I forgot about the ROH women too. You got like Red Velvet when she comes back. Layla Gray's over there. Like, there's a bunch of talented women back down there too that can be established in this. Taya and
Yeah, I don't know what the status is on Charlotte Renegade, but I would like to see the Renegade twins in the mix.
Renegades, yeah, man, this is gonna get good.
Yeah, there's some established women's tag teams that are also not signed anywhere. Even if you're just bringing them in to take part in a tournament, that could be good. Like, what's the Hex doing? You could put the Hex in there. There's options.
I fucks with the Hex too heavy, and I'd be very into it. So bring the Hex in. Every time I see them, I'm like, Marty Bell, what's up?
Yeah. Also have a person that famously tagged with some wrestlers, famously tag team champion, WWE and Stardom. I don't know what Dakota's doing. Maybe Dakota could be in the mix. Dakota also famously at one point tagged with Ruby Soho.
So Ruby's probably itching to get back at these points, probably.
Yeah, I don't know how soon we're gonna get Ruby back, but yeah, I wouldn't mind Dakota showing
like
up.
the stuff we just said, the women we just went through, Phil. That's hard. That's like a great group right there.
Yeah, you've got a lot of options here, so I'm very excited to see this division develop. We also got the announcement. Well, not announcement yet, but we've got official development for AEW's Blood and Guts match for this year. Jamie Hayter, of course.
Same week for both these things is pretty wild for things that we've been wanting for so long.
Yeah, Jamie Hayter took part in the main event. Afterwards, those Triangle of Madness women are still trying to gang up on people, still using the numbers game to jump people. And Queen Amanada was having none of it. Came out to Jamie Hayter's aid with her belt. She was ready to put belt to ass. And Jamie was like, I'm sick of this. I know how to solve this. And very funny British accent, like somebody else. Blood and Guts.
I mean, you needed those vibes to really establish what this is. I love her announcing it. I love Tekla being like, I can't wait. Like, that sounds amazing. I want to fight everybody in here already anyways. Them having these kind of blood feuds that have been brewing for so long be the basis of this Blood and Guts match, I think is awesome. They didn't announce a date or anything, Phil. We don't know nothing. Honestly, we don't know what the teams are going to be. We don't know anything, but just the thought of Jamie Hayter being the one to announce it, the people that are seemingly going to be involved, this is going to be really dope.
Yes. I saw someone say that this might be the way to give the women their first pay-per-view main event. And I'd be here for that. I don't know where it's going to happen, but I'm glad that we finally got a payoff to this. With all of the multi-women matches and all-star tag matches we've gotten for weeks, I'm just like, this has to be leading to Blood and Guts or something, right?
Definitely.
And so I'm glad that was confirmed. I'm glad that this wasn't one of those dangling plot lines that never went anywhere. I'm glad that the Queen Amanada and Tekla blood feud is really the thing that kickstarted this. And they're both in the mix. I think they've done a great job of keeping Tekla hovering around big storylines, putting her in big matches. Even if she's not champion or they haven't given her a big win, she's still been in the mix with some big storylines coming in.
Right.
And the same thing with Queen Amanada. I do think that they've got to eventually start giving her wins, but I love that she's been on TV. I love that she's been at least on the pay-per-views, even if it's just on the pre-show.
If Jamie Hayter's gonna be the kind of the mouthpiece, kind of the focal point of this, she has to be world championship division or like number one contender or something off of this, right? Like off the backs of this, we have to establish what we're gonna do with Jamie Hayter.
I mean, sure, but I think it's telling that she is kind of like the leader for her side at the moment. I think that shows just like where the fanfare is for her. And I mean, she's been right there. She's been on the cusp, made it to the Owen Hart finals. She probably had like a real good chance of winning the title at All Out if Chris Statlander did not use the seatbelt to win. So I have to assume we're probably going to get a one-on-one match between Statlander and Hayter at some point.
Right.
But I love that she's kind of like the captain so far of the babyface team. I have to assume we're probably going to get Statlander maybe on this team. I think the babyface team could be Jamie, Queen Amanada, Statlander, Willow, Harley,
Tony.
probably Tony. Yeah, it's probably Tony. I can't imagine you doing a first blood and guts match and having Tony.
Yeah, come on.
It's Tony.
She's already bled so many times.
Yeah, I think that this says a lot for where the women are. They've had so many great hardcore style matches, and there's so many people that I just named that would do very well in this match. I mean, Statlander has had so many great matches like that. Willow as well. Willow has taken part in the Anarchy in the Arena, so it makes all the sense in the world for her to be here. And I also think that with having her and Statlander on the team, that helps to build to that reunion storyline.
And if on the other side is Julia and Sky and Tekla, who have all been in hardcore crazy matches and shit, this makes a lot of sense. Listen, we talked about Britt earlier. If the heels need a little something, maybe bring her back here, put her on the heel side, because I don't think you can put her on the babyface side.
I mean, yes, I think that she would fit as well because she's also famously been in some hardcore matches for AEW.
Right.
I don't know, because the heel side will be, of course, the Triangle of Madness, but then you have two spaces left. I gather one of them will probably be Megan or Penelope.
Maybe both.
Or both of them.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because they have been fighting and doing hardcore shit with these women too. So
Penelope has done hardcore matches as well.
And they had the spot from a couple weeks ago on Collision where they came out with the chairs and the kendo sticks and they were all beating each other's ass. So yeah, this kind of makes sense. I think that works.
Yeah. So I think the last two members for that team are probably going to be Megan and Penelope.
That's a pretty sick lineup.
But yeah, very excited about this. Very excited for more advancement for the women. Very excited about the women getting more opportunities.
Yes.
I'm glad that it's not just we're just talking about it and speculating about it anymore. It's a reality. It's not like, because we've been talking about this for weeks. Like, it's got to be blood and guts, right? That was the internet talk for a long time. And it's like, good, we're finally getting to it. It's not people asking Tony Khan questions about it. And he's like, yeah, I think that's a good idea. It's like, well, we're going to do it or not.
Hey, maybe we should reconvene and talk about it. We're like, you're the guy that they could talk about it with. Like, you could just say yes or no right now. And every time they would announce a men's one for the last couple of years, people were like, waiting, where's it going? What's happening? And the fact that they've only announced the women's one this year and there's so much fanfare around it, I think is great news for them and exciting stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a known thing, but I think that there was interest at one point of doing a women's blood and guts before this, before Dakota went back and of course, became a part of Damage Control. I think there were conversations around that time period as well.
I remember that.
And so I think it's good that we're finally here. Of course, there's still work to do with the women's division, but I think that this is the most talented that this women's division has ever been.
Best. Yeah.
And I think you're in a really good spot to have both the women's tag belts and do a big blow off match to multiple feuds in this stipulation match. Still very excited that Beth Phoenix is in the mix. I don't think she'll be in this match or anything, but just the idea of her having a match with multiple people in this company, very excited about that. I think that that's a great sign for where the women's division is going as well. People being very obtuse this week and thinking because Christian and Cope had that backstage segment that Cope is going away for good and that he's going back to WWE. I'm like, guys,
that made me laugh so hard.
Guys, he's probably just and not even probably, I think it's been confirmed at this point that he's just going to film Percy Jackson.
Come on.
He'll be back. Yes, do I think it's funny that he's in that part-timer spot and he does multiple returns a year, but he's a big star and he also is doing, television outside of this. So
I saw a graphic of him versus Cena and I said, you guys relax. Please relax.
No. And why do you even want that?
Why do you want?
They've given their tributes to each other in
We
their
got
matches. We got their feud. We got it.
The nostalgia shit is out the window. We got it, bro.
Yeah, he got it. We got it at this point. I don't think we need to see another match between those two guys.
And like Copewood just leave AEW just to do that one match and then come back. What?
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of John Cena this week has been promoting who he wants to be his next opponent. Came straight out of this. There are two things that are funny about this. One, it's very funny that they made such a big deal out of this Brock thing. They were doing the video packages and everything, but Brock didn't really do any promos. He never really told us why he came back and attacked Cena.
No.
Then they had the match. The match was a big nothing burger. Most people thought it sucked. And then there's no rematch. It's not going anywhere.
They're done.
They're probably not going to wrestle again.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, well, why did they do any of that? That all felt kind of pointless. And then coming out of it, Cena's like, well, listen, man, I want to get the fans what they want. The fans want me versus AJ. And if you come to Twitter and you hashtag AJ versus Cena, maybe they'll listen to us. And so he comes back on. He's like, you see this Triple H? The fans want it. And then later on that day, we get the official announcement.
It's made.
That's going to be the big match for Crown Jewel in Perth. Cena versus AJ. And it's the usual. See, we listen to the fans. And it's just like, guys.
Cena set it up real good though, Phil. How he was like,
he did.
He was like, I haven't requested any match this whole time. I would never. I just let them do whatever they want. Man,
I just, they just play the card. They just deal the cards and I play them, man. But this whole look, the fans want it, so let's do it, guys. That was a really fast turnaround.
Hella fast.
I don't believe y'all.
I can't
believe y'all for a
I
second.
can't believe y'all. I can't.
I think that this was always the plan.
Has to be.
I think the AJ match was always the plan. I think that they acted like we weren't going to do it at one point to get excitement up for it. And now they're like, look, see? Baskin and Robbins, 31 flavors. You want it? We got it.
Get you a scoop right now. You always wanted it. Instantly. It'll happen that fast too. Just request it. Yeah, no, it does not happen like that.
I don't believe
Silly bits. I can't believe you.
I don't believe y'all for a second, bro.
At all. 0%. I mean, people. It's exciting that the match is made. It's gonna be,
Oh, it's gonna be fire. This is the match I wanted. So
people have been requesting this in Cena's retirement, but to try to act like it was a Twitter bit that got this match made is just funny.
Absolutely not. If y'all pay so much attention to hashtags, why y'all still not booking Melo better?
Huh.
We listen to the fans, right?
They say.
I mean, the fans been saying other things y'all not listen to, so
that's a fact.
But this one particular thing, we listen to the fans. Okay,
got you. Cena requested it, Phil, so different.
The rest of this, because we got the results of the triple threat match from SmackDown, Tiffany Stratton retained her championship. That sets up Tiffany Stratton versus Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's Crown Jewel Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Given the fact that it's in Perth, I should have guessed that Tiffany Stratton was going to retain because if you remember, Tiffany Stratton coming up to the main roster had that great reception in Elimination Chamber in Perth. Mm-hmm. I think they're banking off of her getting a similar reception this time as world champion. I don't know who's going to beat Tiffany, though, because at this point, I thought it was going to be Jade. They've done that matchup multiple times now. Jade still hasn't won. I don't know. Now, there's a chance that the whole angle of her getting split open was a way to try to get people to respect her and part of her heel turn, because I still think the move is to turn her heel.
Yeah.
And I thought she did a great job of, like, as soon as she was busted open, turned it straight to the camera, got the color on TV, and I definitely think that Jade should turn, and maybe this is still leading to Jade beating Tiffany, or maybe they're waiting for Bianca to return. I don't know.
Like they could have been trying to get somebody, not Jade, in the crown jewel match. Like let's get Tiffany in the crown jewel match with Stephanie, and then move on to Jade post that.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm very confused, but I do think that match is going to be good. Because Stephanie's been great,
cooking, unbelievable.
And to give them some credit, I think that the Tiffany reign has been stale, but I don't think it's because Tiffany's not a good wrestler. They've gone to the well too many times with Nia and Jay. They should have given her some different opponents, and I think that's why it's grown stale. I think it's stale because of their booking, not Tiffany.
Yeah, no, it's not Tiffany's fault.
Unfortunately, Tiffany is going to take a lot of the blame for this, though. But it is at least something to be said about them booking a young wrestler strong, and bringing someone in from NXT and pushing them heavily. Right. They don't always get that right, and so there's something to that. I think that they should have booked this reign better, though.
Like, she beat Charlotte at Mania, and she got
some big wins.
Yeah, like she done some things, but not enough things.
But I do think Stephanie's probably going to win.
Yeah.
I think Stephanie's probably going to win in Perth. I would be really shocked if Tiffany wins.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, if Tiffany does win, this makes Tiffany look like a world beater. Like, what a year.
Can't nobody beat her if she win again. But
yeah. But we'll see. They also set up Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. That was the match that they set up coming out of WrestlePalooza. They had to stare down at the end of the night. Did some really good story stuff on Raw this week. I think this is the best thing Seth has done in quite a while as champion, as a heel. I think he really needed this because they book him very dominantly with the Vision, but they've kind of felt directionless.
Yeah. They've been kind of doing the same bit, essentially.
They've been doing the same bit. He comes out and says the same thing, but it's just like, well, what do you actually want?
Right.
Other than like, yeah, you're champion, but since you've been champion, now what? And some of that's not his fault. Some of that is, like I've said before, this is clearly built around a feud with a guy that was not there.
Right.
As long as Roman's not there, you've got him kind of at a standstill.
Right.
But I think they did a great job here of going back to some of the best character stuff that Seth has done. And I love that they brought the Watch into it. The Watch has played out into some of the podcast appearances between Cody and Seth, because Cody did that podcast appearance where he's like, yeah, it really hurts my feelings that Seth isn't wearing that watch. I gave him the watch after WrestleMania as a thank you for helping me win. And that played into the segment on Monday where Seth was like, I'm wearing this for the first time since you gave it to me publicly. And he asked him, what do you think of me? I know what I think of me, but what do you think of me? And, kind of dances around the point. But he got to a point by the end of the segment where he made Cody mad, and Cody was like, well, wait a minute. You're saying all this stuff that you should be number one and all these things, but you haven't beat me yet. And he walks off on him. And we have this great segment backstage where he's sitting back there looking at that watch, and Becky is walking back and forth, ranting and raving. He's not paying attention at all. He's just looking down at this watch the whole time. This was so good because my theory from this is that Seth respects Cody. Seth respects Cody more than most because he had the 3 matches with him. And Cody said in that segment, you changed my life.
Right.
Because when I came back here, he's really the guy that cemented Cody coming back. Those 3 matches did more for him than anybody, especially the Hell in a Cell match. That's going to be considered a classic match and all these other things.
Yep.
And what he did for him at WrestleMania, his sacrifice helped him finish the story. So I do think there was legitimate animosity at one point between Seth and Cody. I think that Seth resented the fact that, hey, I've been here all this time and I've been working towards this moment of dethroning Roman. Roman never gave me my rematch. I've had this guy's number. He's been ducking me. And then this guy gets to come back and immediately go to win the Royal Rumble and get his match. No, it should be me.
He came back and did all the things that Rollins should have been doing.
It should
Rumble
be
wins, the main events, all these things.
But as the visionary, and even before that, as the Monday Night Messiah, he had been saying the whole time, I'm going to be the guy that leads this company into the future. I have to be the locker room leader because who else is it? It's me. I'm the guy that should lead this company forward. But I think he realized in the build to WrestleMania 40, in order to be a leader, sometimes you got to make sacrifices and you got to understand you're not the guy. And I think he had to humble himself in the build to that because he legitimately respected Cody and he realized it's the right thing to do. Rock and Roman are out of control. I have to get behind this guy. It's his time. And so I think he felt like he did the right thing by helping him win at WrestleMania 40. But it took a lot for him to say, it's not me. I'm not the guy. And while that watch might mean something, he might respect this guy. It might be a good gesture. He might not. He might even really consider him a friend. That's not what I want.
No,
I don't want your friendship. I don't want this watch. I want to be the guy. I have been telling y'all I'm the guy. I should be leading this company. And I proved that when I beat Roman at WrestleMania. I proved that when I won the briefcase and I cashed it in. I'm the guy. You're not the guy. Don't go to any of these podcasts talking about how you're my lovely friend, like I'm your sidekick. I ain't your sidekick. I'm the guy. Don't give me these little trinkets. Don't go around saying all these things. I'm the guy. But the problem is, Cody's right. I wrestled you 3 times and I beat you. You keep saying it's you, but I won 3 times. I went to Royal Rumble. I won twice. That's how we get here. I think this build has been really, really good. I think the undertones here have been fantastic. Seth's got to win though.
Yeah, he has to win. He's
got to win. I think this.
Yeah.
You can't do all of this storyline and then get to Perth and then he just loses again.
Yeah, no, you can't have Cody say you can't win the big one essentially against me and not win the big one against him. It's not going to work out. It's not going to make sense for Rollins. I mean, Rollins is a heel and you can use that, but you got to give him this, I think.
There's other things lingering around this. You still have Drew in the mix. Drew is coming for Cody's neck. He cut his promo the other night where he's just like, this guy's a liar. And who do you people work for? Who do the doctors in this company work for? Who do the referees work for? Why was I stopped from kicking this guy's head in? So he's still in the mix.
Points.
He's still in the mix. I still think there's a chance we get a Randy turn. I still think Randy versus Cody could happen.
Yeah, they're slow walking the dog on that. I thought that was going to happen already.
Yeah, so I do believe something's going to happen. But yeah, Seth should win this match.
He has to. Yeah, I think he has to.
Yeah. No, do we have any more super chats left? We don't. Last call for super chats.
We do have a couple left. The Homie Vamp Twin Blade says the only match announced for Wrestle Dream in St. Louis, Brest Wrestling City in America, is Darby Mox 5, which is an I Quit match. Maybe Kenny Josh.
Yeah, so far that's all we've got. Just Darby Mox I Quit. I thought the segment they set up for that was really cool.
And it's in like what, 2 weeks? It's coming up. 18th or 3 weeks?
Yes, it's about 2 weeks, a little bit over 2 weeks.
Yeah, they better start announcing. This is classic Tony Khan, though, waiting all the way to the damn show. He's gonna announce it 4 hours before the show. Here's 20 great matches for the show.
Yeah, Kenny's gonna be in the mix. It seems like Kyle Fletcher wants that match.
He does.
Maybe that's gonna
happen.
happen.
Be the match. Yeah, that probably be more the match than Kenny and Josh.
Yeah.
Tyrone Kidd says, make the women's tag worldwide at CMLL and Stardom.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you're going to do like a tournament, it couldn't hurt to have tag teams from other companies in there.
Right. I mean, to establish what that is, but you want to, make sure the AEW women that we talked about really get some shine too. That would be good though, Tyrone. The homegirl Shanika says, just walked in the door from a trip And happy to see y'all on. We'll be at AEW 6 year and next week at Dailies. OC and Kenny back. Shanika is pleased. Very pleased. Very, very good returns this week, establishing what AEW is going to be moving into this future here.
Yes.
Loving it. Leonard Aarons III says, read WWE. It is what it is because they are who they are. They continue playing in people's faces with stuff like Brock because people keep saying here.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. People were very upset Friday night because Paul Heyman, being Paul Heyman and trolling people, said on live TV, hey, maybe we'll talk about all the conspiracy theories and rumors around Brock Lesnar. And it's just like, I don't know if we should be treating him being named in a real lawsuit as just like conspiracies. But
yeah.
And you know, this is what WWE does. They try to muddy things by turning things into storylines or turning things into, look, he said this on TV, so there's nothing to this. And you know, some of their fan base will read into that and go, well, look, there really isn't anything to it. This which is disgusting.
And changing the way searches work when you search this, now you find that, like, it's gross stuff.
Disgusting.
Pretty good.
Cody was also in the mix. He said something during that segment too that was just like, I don't think you should do that.
Things are not good. But they're going to keep doing it like Leonard Aarons said so.
Of course.
Then Dex Baker says, Tanahashi retirement has been criticized for giving away matches with these young guys, but I think those stars will be better for it by Wrestle Kingdom. Who will be better for the Cena run by WrestleMania besides Brock?
Cena. I mean, not Cena, Cody.
Yeah.
Cody got the big win over him at SummerSlam.
But he would have been all right without any of that Cena shit. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you're going to say who's better off, I think that's always going to be a notch on Cody's belt. That
like Cena didn't put over a young guy.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, that's always going to be a notch on Cody's belt that he's gotten these big tentpole wins, like beating Brock Lesnar, beating Roman Reigns, Cena. Like those are big monumental wins for him.
He running through them. We were talking about it before. He running through them WWE accolades. He about to not have nothing after a while here.
Yeah,
he didn't beat everybody.
Sammy got the big win over him on SummerSlam. I mean, at SmackDown.
Sammy, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Once you after that, Slim Pickens.
Yeah,
there's two people, but that's why I said, if it's me, Oba should come out in his last match and throttle him.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, he should stamp Oba on the way out. I mean, I was saying before it would make a lot of sense for him to stamp Carmelo Hayes on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah. I think it's going to be I don't know. But I hope that they've got something for Oba. You have to, I think, at this point. And I've seen
them out there with vibes.
Yeah, I've seen people already setting themselves up for disappointment, saying it has to be this. He's got to win the Rumble. He's got to do this. Hold on. Temper your expectations. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. I mean, people are going to try to base it off of like the trajectory of like Braun Breaker and other people that they've seen in that position, but it's not going to be like that.
Yeah.
I think that's all of our super chats. Thanks, Dex.
Appreciate you, Dex. Got a few more Humper chats.
Mm-hmm.
See, I think I read that one. I did. Got one more from Tony P. He says, as for Petty of the Week, it's a tie between WWE fans coming for Hale and ESPN or NFL fans getting pissy about last night. Who is it for y'all? With that, I am happy seeing Akira seemed fine, has a good support system. Rest in peace to Mama Shakur. Have a good week, everyone. I forgot that was part of this week. Rest in peace to Asada Shakur. Yeah. If you know, you know. I would highly recommend it if you have not read her autobiography. It is an excellent read. It is very infuriating at points to read, but it's an excellent book. It's one of those things that I picked up in college that changed the way I see the world.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have not read it, I would definitely give it a read. But what a life. I am glad that she passed away as a free woman. Of course, not good news to see her pass away.
No,
I'm glad that
she wasn't a political prisoner at the end of it.
Yeah. And you know, so people are gonna make what they want about it. I've seen some politicians say weird things, but like, you should not be trying to memorialize this woman, but I ain't trying to hit up. Rest in peace to Asada Shakur.
Huge rest in peace.
See, we've got a few more. We got one from Rafael Garcia. He says, after the Gail firestorm from last week, it only confirmed the 4 things we shouldn't talk about on the app, but we do anyway. Politics, Love Island, Nicki Minaj and the Barbs therein, and wrestling, with wrestling being number 3. Greetings from work. Yeah, no, it's getting harder and harder to give your opinion on wrestling because people are just so over the top, bro.
I hate it. It's annoying. You can't make jokes. You can't get a point off without people trying to get their shit off or bring up the other company. It's annoying.
Yeah, I saw some people saying and doing very weird things over this week, and it's just like, yeah, this is why I share a lot less of what I think.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. From round forward, really excited about the announcements we got for the AEW Women's Division this week. Looking forward to the start of the tag title tournament and Blood and Guts. Yeah, big
same thing. I think it's great for the women's division. Like Phil said, we still need a lot more to be established, but this is great what we've done with Tony as champ, Mercedes as champ, establishing new championships, getting these match types, getting more time on TV. It's all great.
Tony, I don't pay attention to anything Kanye says anymore.
Nah. Haven't heard nothing from him in years.
I've muted his account a long time ago. I try not to pay attention. I've seen clips from that documentary that I'm just like, I'm not watching that.
Definitely not watching that.
Very, very uncomfortable. The clip of him screaming at Kris Jenner, I was just like, oh, I don't know that we need to see that. It's fine. I do think that this guy has legitimate mental health issues. And I don't think that we should be exploiting those things or making light of them. But I also think that this guy has behaved poorly and we should stop paying attention and engaging that as well.
Yep. I think there's 2 sides. Like we probably shouldn't be seeing a documentary on this man's fucking craziest mental health moments at the time. You know what I mean?
I think the most messed up thing about that clip, before I move on, is for a long time people have been saying like the Kardashians made him crazy or that they ruined his life, and the way he was screaming at her, and she's just like, no, Kanye, I'm trying to listen to you. I love you. Like, I'm not trying to. I'm listening, and I felt bad in that moment because
you could feel the sympathy coming from her of being like, this isn't for the cameras, this isn't bullshit. Like, I love you, Kanye. I want you to get better.
We don't have to do that, and it just shows just how much. It just shows how much he's affecting all of the people around him with his behavior, and I think that he really should get some help.
He should. It's too much. I mean, it's her grandkids. That's their fucking dad, you know. So fuck.
Oh, everything about it was just uncomfortable, and I was like, we don't need to see this. This is should not be public.
Stop making documentaries on this shit to help this guy out.
We don't. Yeah, we don't need it. And the other thing, the Michael Che thing, I was just like, yeah.
He's trying, and consequences like, not the time. Oh, just
the thing that's so interesting about him and the way people respond to him when he does these things is that people are always coming with love first. Like, remember when Van Lathan was like, bro, I love you, Kanye. Like, but I am like deeply disappointed in what you're saying. Like, brother, it hurts for you as somebody I respect to be saying these things. And
it's
I think
always like that. It's never like, fuck you, Kanye, you're a piece of shit. They're always like, Kanye, we love you. We want to know what's going on here.
Yeah. And Michael Che had a very salient point. His thing was like, hey man, I respect you. I idolized you. Like, how you gonna come to my job and say these things about us and like not give me a chance to like say my piece or something? You just get on here and shit on us, and I just have to stand there and take it. Like, that's really fucked up. And yeah, Consequence getting in the mix. I was just like, dog, it ain't got nothing to do with you, dog. You trying to be a tough guy in it? Like, ain't nobody trying that, dog.
I looked at him, dog, trying to get me to shut up. Consequence. Please
I didn't. Yeah, we saw the clip, dog. Like
we saw the clip.
I don't think it looks good that every time these kind of things happen, Kanye will shrink and be like, "But I love you, bro," and it's like, nah, dog, you cannot do that. You can't spout these kind of things that really affect people, and then when somebody challenges you on it, well, you know, I hear you, dog. I feel you.
I see the people he doesn't keep the same energy with. It's
yeah, I don't. It's
a
exactly, and that's why I'm like, I wish she would stop doing that.
It's a
but
pattern.
At this point, like, it is what it is. It's very uncomfortable. A lot of the things around him, very tragic where a lot of the stuff is gone. I wish people would stop, exploiting things. But everything is entertainment. Got to keep the cameras going. Got to keep the clicks going.
Content, baby. Put this on.
I hate it. Sometimes we can cut these cameras off. Sometimes we can cut the phones off. Get these screens out of our face. Cut everything off. It's fine. Cut all of it off. If you take anything away from this podcast and a lot of this stuff is not good for you. Just cut it off.
It's bad. It's bad for your mental health. It's bad for your brain.
Just arguing with people on social media, engaging, rage bait, and all of this other stuff. You don't have to.
Like seeing a fool yell at a mom, and I love my mom. I hate that clip. I don't want to see this shit. Fuck this fool. You know what I mean? You yelling at somebody else's mom too? Nigga, what?
I saw someone say this because the whole time that she's getting yelled at, her boyfriend's down.
Yeah.
I ain't no way. I would have just been like, just standing there. But I think they both have what they told me is they've seen him act like this before and they wanted to de-escalate the situation. But it would have been hard for me to just sit there and watch him like yelling at a woman like that. Like, what are you doing?
Like that in my wife's face or whoever's face? Come on.
Nah. We ain't got to do that. But I think this is our last Humper chat from Leron Ford. He says, it's also good to see AEW now has a replica women's world title on Shop AEW to go with the TBS title. Progress is being made, and I'm here for it. Yeah, that was a big talking point. At one point, the TBS title was the only one on shop.aew. So yeah, glad that you can now get the women's title. I'm surprised that it took this long.
Yeah, they need that. You see so many like streamers and peoples with the belts in the background and on display and at the shows. Like if they're gonna buy it, you need to sell it. So this is good news and more good women's wrestling news.
Yes.
For the brand.
That is all of our Humper chats. Appreciate you guys.
Y'all are super dope. Appreciate y'all submitting super and Humper chats today to further along the convo.
I assume we don't have any more super chats.
No, that's all of them.
Great. Yeah, I talked about this a little bit on our YouTube channel. If you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, get subscribed.
YouTube, baby.
What
are you waiting on?
YouTube.com. Yeah, youtube.com/Grapsody. I tried something different this week. I put our full review of AEW All Out on there. People responded pretty well to that. I've been asking on our Discord and on our YouTube channel, would you guys be more interested in pay-per-view reviews on our channel so that we could get the pay-per-view reviews up quicker and we wouldn't have to go through full cards on the podcast. While I enjoy doing that, it does make our podcast pretty long.
Especially if we have like last week 2 or 3 shows in the same. We got to review 10 cards to all these things. Yeah,
exactly. And now wrestling is moving so fast where you have so many things happening at the same time. If let us know if you would be more interested in like immediate reactions to the pay-per-views, immediate pay-per-view reviews on our channel. Right. It's definitely something I would be interested in going forward. That's something we're talking about. So let us know how you feel about that.
Chime in, brothers.
But appreciate all the support on the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in on a Monday, sending in your super chats, Humper chats. Believe this Thursday we hit a big milestone.
It is October. That means
October 2nd,
something.
we
Yep.
will be hitting our 4-year mark.
Damn, homie. Time. I don't know what the fuck time is.
Yeah, we've officially been doing this for 4 years. It's crazy to think about. But again, appreciate all the support. We will be back in our usual time slot. We will not be hanging around on Mondays moving forward.
No.
We will be back
See
on
y'all
Saturday at noon. So check us out then. But in the meantime, this has been Grapsody. I'm Phil Lindsey.
Yes, sir.
It's Righteous Reg. We're out of here.
Peace.